from everything I have read, he was a popular kid. He was on the football team. He was voted freshman homecoming prince. Nobody, at least at this point, it was at Maryville's Pilchuck High School. Big Kenny, selfie, once again, a school shooting. We have spoken on this in the 4 years, 3.5, almost 4 years I've been on the air. This is probably at least maybe the 6th to 7th case that we've had to speak on regarding something like this. This is the first that I know that the guy was a football player. Signs say that he had a decent life. People, if he's homecoming court prince, which means that you usually must be popular. People like you. You're on the freshman team. I was asking you before the show started about just the differences because to me, this is an emotional. It seems that since you're the youngest of us three, selfie, it just seems that in that 2-decade difference between me and you, your generation has a little more sensitivity.
Yeah.
It seems like you're very emotional because to me, any time that this happens, whether it's young or old, it has to come from an emotion, that something has triggered in you, that has upset you, that has you to where you think you need to go to violence. And if you're going to kill yourself, that means it's like, well, I'm going to take somebody with me. Right. Where do you stand as a young lady as far as your generation being emotional?
As far as women go, I'll say that we are probably, I'm not sure how women were in your time frame, but my time frame, yeah, we are pretty emotional. We are very physical now. I don't know, maybe we learn it from reality TV to get mad at a guy or a woman. We just start to swing first and we ask questions later. Mm-hmm. Men, almost the same thing now. So I just feel like it's TV and social media. I feel like people don't know how to talk to each other anymore. So it results in almost like caveman acting. Like cavemen didn't know how to talk, so they resulted in action all the time. So it's almost like we're going backwards, too far back though, but we're so far advanced that it's making us do things that, that we weren't able to do BC times, which is weird to me, which is really weird. So, I heard the boy actually, he actually got upset because a girl he asked out did not, actually denied him. Mm-hmm. So I feel like because he didn't know how to first take no for an answer, obviously he's popular, everyone likes him, he probably gets a yes every day. So probably didn't know how to take no for an answer. And then on top of that, social media, doesn't know how to talk, doesn't know how to just move on from things. So he's going to amp it up online. He might have amped it up somewhere else and then comes to school and here we are.
Big Kenny, let me ask you this question. I see you making notes, but let me ask you from this point of view right here. How much of this comes from simple stuff like we don't keep score at the game anymore? We graduate from every grade. How much of that you think plays into, because, keeping score at 6 teaches me that, hey, I'm going to be disappointed sometimes. Graduation, every grade makes me think that just going from the 3rd to the 4th, I actually have done something big. It kind of builds up to a framework that I don't know how to deal with adversity.
It sets about a great deal of expectation. A lot of people feel entitled to certain perks, to certain access in life without having earned it. There was a time when if you got a championship trophy, it's because you beat everybody else and everybody knew it. My record is a perfect record. Your record is less than that. Whatever it was, I could be 16-0. You could be 15-1. We still beat you. So now you had to feel that. You had to process that. How does it feel to be almost perfect and still lose? What she was just saying about he probably doesn't hear no. It's hard for me to believe any dude that weird hadn't heard no before. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it is it might not be so much emotional as void of emotion, because an emotional person would understand what it would feel like to hear that my child's been killed in school and over some girl saying no to him. My child had nothing to do with it. So why did he get killed? These overreactions. Really? Are you killing people and yourself because a chick said no to you? But that's ridiculous.
And that's why I'm saying emotional from the standpoint that this is my first time dealing with, what is this feeling that is going through me of disappointment?
Right. And that's what I'm saying. You have no point of reference for that. When I was young, I told a girl, I like you, and she sent her sister back to tell me.
Check the box, remember?
Right. I didn't write. I've always been a wordsmith. I wanted to express myself. So I went and told her I liked her. She sent her sister to tell me, Kenny, she said she'll go out with you if you comb your nappy hair.
Right.
Now, for whatever reaction that got out of me, I had to deal with that. First of all, was the elation of, I might be in there, but all I got to do, wait a minute, she said I was nappy head. Okay, well, I'm finna go comb my hair, because that was my doorway into dating her. So I learned how to deal with criticism, overcoming what was a setback. I learned how to deal with the perceived embarrassment of now somebody else knowing that she thinks my hair is nappy, all kind of different things which kids don't have to deal with today.
I think that had the angle with it. Maybe she said no and it embarrassed him, and he probably took it there because, actually it was the girl who was killed. So that's someone's daughter who said no to someone who's just been killed just because she decided not to date you. That's, right. I mean, that's scary.
And that's what I'm saying with the score and the graduation and your first embarrassment.
Yeah.
When at our age came from your parents anyway.
It's true.
They slap you across the mouth in class, and you got to sit there with the other 20 students, and they picking at you. Your mama slap you. It was you learned young to deal with disappointment, highs and lows,
and you anticipated while the grown-ups are in the room.
Right.
They're not gonna really clown me, but wait till lunchtime. Right. Now I've got to anticipate being clowned all the way up until 11:30 when they gonna cut loose on me. I think it's interesting. My daughter goes to a school where they wear uniforms, and I thought the uniforms was all about uniformity in that they were trying to have a certain code of conduct, but mostly it was about not embarrassing other students whose parents can't afford the new name brand clothes. So if you come to school and those Chucks aren't real Chucks, and somebody clown you about that, they say that's, hurting their self-esteem, so they don't put red D's on papers anymore because red ink embarrasses kids. I mean, are you serious?
Right.
What? Are you really, really serious? And then you have this, and then everybody goes, where did we go wrong? But this is where we go wrong.
And we don't give enough credit to the growth when you are real young. For some reason, it became, well, I'm going to teach you everything when you 14, 15, 16. But some of the life lessons are taught when you are 6 and 7. And mom and dad, they don't give you everything. And they don't have to explain why. Because they're teaching you that you're not going to get everything. You got to pick the red or the blue. You don't get both. It's not that we can't afford both. It's just that we're showing you that you're not entitled. You have to gain. You have to earn. What have you done for me to get the red ones? So I'm going to get the blue ones. And if you do X, Y, and Z, for Christmas, we'll get the red ones. If not,
you'll be red. My daughter went to a book fair and wanted 8 or 9 books. I asked, what did you do with your allowance money? Whatever you saved up is what you can buy.
Right.
Other than that, I'm not going to support your reading habit. I'm just a father.
But sad news out of Washington. And just hopefully we can find, and like I keep saying with these school shootings, I still believe that it needs to be a true check-in and check-out of school. Everybody should be checked in. The door should be closed. And to get into the school at that point, you have to go through a check so that people have a chance. Just being able to walk into a cafeteria with a gun unchecked is just time for a change. We'll be back. More of the Sports Joc Show, 888-926-7562, right after this quick break.
And today's winning numbers are not yours, not yours, and another number that's not yours. And the final number is not yours.
When it comes to having money, don't rely on luck. Brew your own coffee at home instead of buying that latte. Brown bag it to work instead of ordering in. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas on how to save. Feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Would your business survive a disaster? Nearly 2/3 of businesses aren't prepared for an emergency, and 40% of businesses that experience a disaster never recover. Make an emergency plan now, before it's too late. For a free online tool that helps you develop an emergency plan to keep your business up and running should disaster strike, visit ready.gov/business. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the American Red Cross, and the Ad Council.
Here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a pep talk that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You can improve your future.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life.
Hurry up! Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and for free classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Can you tell if these vegetables are being contaminated with bacteria that could cause paralysis? Listen, you can't see it either. Use different cutting boards so that the bacteria in raw meats and seafood and their juices doesn't touch prep surfaces for other foods like veggies. Raw food may contain bacteria that can make you very sick, or worse. Roughly 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year, but you can keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. We are working through some technical difficulties here this morning, but we are here. Don't take the silence as though I ran away. The Sports Joc will be here until the noon hour. As I said, we got our man Richard Brown, the Paralympic athlete, coming up a little later in the show. And we're going to talk to our man Todd Harris, Major League scout for the Dodgers. I know he doesn't want to talk about the Giants and the winning that they're doing. As you know, the Dodgers and the Giants seem to always find a way to fight at the baseball game when they do play. But the Giants are up 3-2 over the Kansas City Royals. Game 6 is tomorrow back in KC, and Game 7 will be, I want to say, Thursday in Kansas City as well. We'll talk about that coming up in the show. When we left you, we were talking about the tragedy out in Washington, just trying to figure out maybe that some of the things that we have pulled away from younger kids we might need to put back in, like keeping score and making kids earn basically some things and not thinking that being soft with them, they're going to get it. Most of your lessons in life comes through hard times. That's what, there's more lessons in losing than there are in winning. That is a true statement. Because when you lose, you have to self-reflect. You got to think about how I'm going to win, how I'm going to get better. When you win, even if you win ugly, you sit there and let it go. Oh, okay, I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. We still won. It's just a human nature. So maybe some of those things that we have pulled, and we're not saying that is the main reason. It just seems to be a very large amount of this going on in our society, and it seems at least 2 or 3 times a year it's happening at our schools and universities, and that's innocent children just sitting in there eating lunch, getting shot. Just come on, something has to happen, and we need to stop acting like it's not going on. That's the thing that kills me, that a story like this is on page 3 and 4, but Adrian Peterson spanking his kid is page 1 all week. I don't. Does either one of you get that?
Well, this is my thing, and I don't care how people take it. This is just how I feel. There was a time, like now, we have a lot of outside interference with how to raise our children, with how to conduct things within our community. And when I say within our community, if you're a third grader, you're in a third grade community. There used to be a time when third graders checked other third grade behavior. If you were a third grader and you came to school and you was a weird nerd third grader, you got beat up. Now, I'm not saying it was right. I'm just saying you wasn't a nerd weirdo third grader for a long time. Either that or you wasn't the kind that people wouldn't look up and go, hey, here comes the weirdo. When he walked into the room, you just wasn't allowed to walk into the room with a gun and nobody noticed you because that kind of behavior was checked. If you were the kind of guy that was not good with talking to females, you didn't get dates. People didn't set you up to go out with people on sympathy dates. That just wasn't the world I grew up in. And I'm saying a lot of what we used to, if your kid showed out in school, you could chastise that child. Some of them, I watched a lot of kids get whoopings in school. Now they don't want you to whip your children. Adrian Peterson whoops his child. Right. Yeah. Adrian Peterson whoops his child and they're talking about sending them to prison. Then the kid goes to school and jumps on a teacher. Right. Well, I mean, if you would have had any respect for authority and adults at home, you'd have never pulled that at school.
Exactly.
So what are we really teaching them? To disrespect authority, to think that everything is supposed to be given to them, and to try adults when they feel like it? I just don't. I don't see
it's
that.
A me society. It's just about me.
Yeah.
Everything
and
else.
This was the problem because when I had coached the kid, the mother came to me about saying that her son was losing confidence in playing basketball because he was always being subbed out by me too much. Mm-hmm. So I asked her, I said, well, ma'am, beyond the one game a week that your son comes here and I have to coach him and teach him everything about basketball, do you bring him to a gym to shoot around? And she said, no. I said, well, that's why the same thing keeps happening to him. Unless you change something about him to improve himself, he will not improve on a Saturday basketball game. Right. He's going to lose confidence whether I'm here or not. So, I mean, but moms, dads, they will harass you for days about that. My kid this,
and it's interesting that I was teaching an acting class for children, acting and improv. And there was this one little kid who had a thing with biting other kids. And someone was like, well, you've got to find a way to reach him. And I told him, no, I don't. That's not my job. I'm not a psychotherapist. I'm not a child behavioral analyst. I'm an actor teaching these kids how to act. If he is biting people when he gets here, then maybe they need to check that at home, or maybe you need to stop letting him come here because he's going to injure someone else's child, and I'm not a security guard. I don't do that, and I don't know any ways to restrain you without hurting you. That's kind of counterintuitive.
But I think what both of you are saying is what coaches and teachers talk about. Like you bring your child and drop them off to me, and I'm supposed to fix them. But I can't fix them. But I'm supposed to fix them, because to fix somebody, like I just said, it takes some type of discipline. It takes some kind of consequences. Just like I remember early in the year we were talking about the track coaches that got fired because they made the kids that didn't come to the practice the day before do bear crawls.
Right.
And the parents came out to the school and complained that they felt like that was unnecessary. But you missed practice yesterday. You can't just come back like, hey, I'm back.
Right.
That's where does that work at? You know,
never.
Then I'm getting fired because I make you actually do something to regret, you know.
And it's not like the parents aren't aware of this. It'd be different if the kid bit somebody and everybody was like, oh my goodness, he's never done that before. But when they come into the class with, look, he'll bite you. Yep. What do you mean? Yep. What do you mean he'll bite? Why is he here? Why did you allow him to even sign up?
Oh my gosh.
He'll bite you?
We've had kids leave camps and moms come pick them up and say, oh, was he all right today? Like, they know their kids are bad and they accept it and they let them go out there like that.
Yeah.
And if I'm in charge of your kid and he try and bite me and you come pick him up and he got an ice pack on his eye, I mean, I can give you the 2-piece too, but I'm one of those that's willing to say to a parent, look, ma'am, I don't have time to fix your child.
Correct.
If your child is biting people, that's something y'all need to work out outside of this venue, because we don't do that here. We can't even we can't spend an hour class pulling your kid off people for 15 minutes.
Right. And another story coming out of the University of North Carolina, the Tar Heels, as head coach of the basketball team, Roy Williams, said, it's a very sad time. We have spoken about this on the show when it was just allegations. Now some of those allegations have been proven to be true. Fraud classes, massive cheating going on. More than half of the students that they say were part of this were athletes. It's been going on for about 2 decades. They were giving away A's, automatic A's and B's. They had fake classes. African and Afro-American Studies is what the class was called.
Because black people don't read.
Some of the students even alluded to that it was like come in the first day, check in, and then don't come back to the last day, and they were giving A's and B's. Once again, here's another story that is very fascinating, and when the college is in trouble, nobody pays attention, but let it be Todd Gurley, and it's front page news that Todd Gurley might have taken $400. 3,100 students getting fake grades is on page 5. I don't understand how this stuff just keeps. I mean, it's living here. I mean, Todd Gurley, Jameis Winston shooting squirrels is like national news, but 3,100 students getting automatic A's and B's in a class for over 2 decades in a class that didn't exist. Come on now, y'all.
They had a former North Carolina athlete who went to some of those classes, and they found him and reached him for comment, and he said, well, it's like, it'd be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because sometimes, unquote. and that was it.
We're talking about a historic major university. We're not talking about University of Eastern Hilltop, North Carolina.
Right.
We're talking about Michael Jordan Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
UNC. 2 decades.
Julius Peppers.
Not 2 weeks. Not 2 years. 2 decades. We're talking about 20 years ago. They've been doing this for 2 decades. Had a fake class called I don't even know what Afro-American Studies. What is that?
It's about just let your soul blow. How to keep your hair shiny. This is what I wonder.
But why is this on page 5?
Well, it's on page 5 because everybody's dirt is big unless it's your dirt. When the system breaks down, they want to sweep that under the rug. Now, they'll highlight these individuals making mistakes, but maybe these individuals are making mistakes because they're learning from the people who have the most influence over them. Right. If somebody who is supposed to be in charge of you and getting you to follow the rules comes to you and go, look, I know we're supposed to follow the rules, but you start learning that there's some things that you'll have justifications for. So I know I'm not supposed to take money, but I'm trying to turn up this weekend, so I'm going to take this little $500. I mean, because I don't go to class for real.
From 1993 until 2011, African and Afro-American Studies was an actual shadow curriculum.
Why couldn't it have been tobacco class? It's North Carolina.
Right. It didn't exist. People got some A's in the class that didn't exist, but it's on page 5. But Todd Gurley getting $400 has been national news for 3 weeks. I don't understand it. Maybe you'll tell me when we come back from commercial. 888-926-7562. The Sports Joc. That's JOC.com.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Honey, I'm home. I've got a surprise for you.
Get that filthy, disgusting tire out of my living room. You're on my favorite rug.
Calm down. You're going to love this.
What? The goldfish bowl.
I won't run over them. Relax.
You roll that tire right back out of here.
Relax. It's all part of my master plan to save us money.
This is not going to be our coffee table. Don't even think about putting a piece of glass on top.
No, honey. This is a reminder to keep our tires properly inflated so we can save money on gas.
Can't we just tie a string around our fingers?
Sweetie, properly inflated tires can save us more money at the pump than a week's worth of gas.
You're getting tire tracks on my love seat.
Exactly. To remind us that we love saving gas with properly inflated tires.
What's wrong with a sticky note on the dashboard?
Discover smarter ways to save hundreds of dollars on gas and help the environment too at the Alliance to Save Energy's website, drivesmarterchallenge.org.
Hey, let's put the sticky note on the tire.
Hi, we're talking to real smokers about quitting. Tell me when you smoke and why you smoke.
Eat, cigarette, kids, cigarette, dinner, another cigarette.
One on my way to lunch, one after lunch.
And another cigarette, and another cigarette.
Have you tried to quit?
Yes. I become angry.
It ain't that easy. You can't just quit cold turkey. I tried.
What would you do different?
Actually having a plan and thinking it through.
You have to relearn how to live your life without a cigarette in your hand.
With the right plan, you can quit smoking. Free at becomeanx.org. X, a new way to think about quitting. Brought to you by X and the Ad Council.
I'm Ed Smart, father of a child who was abducted.
I'm John Walsh. Like Ed, I also know the terror of having a child who was kidnapped. But now we have wonderful technology to aid in this battle.
It's called the Amber Alert. It's an early notification system to the public when every second counts.
Amber Alert is a partnership. We want to thank you, the public, broadcasters, transportation, and law enforcement. Amber Alert really works.
And now, back to the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. And now, back to the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. As we left you, we were talking about the University of North Carolina and their class scandal. 3,100 students went through this over 2 decades, a fake class. Over half of those were athletes. A sham class, fraud classes, fake grades. A's and B's were given. I guess they threw the B in so that they throw some people off. Everybody can't make an A.
How dumb you got to be to get a B in a class that don't exist? You know what I
mean? How did you even pick that though? Like, okay, the starters get A's and the backups get B's.
Well, which leads me to the question. You know, I'm always willing to foster ill will between the races. Why did they pick African American studies? Is it that they felt like no one would question athletes getting A's in an African American studies class? Like everybody can pass stuff about black people. You know what I mean? Now, had it been something else, shop class, or there are a lot of other easy classes, first aid, you could have said something like that, but you chose African American studies because maybe you felt nobody was going to question them getting an A in this class, which means there was no oversight, which makes it sort of racist. And then number two, we have a situation here in Atlanta right now, Atlanta Public Schools. Teachers are on trial for fraud,
right,
getting ready to do some jail time for falsifying records and changing answers. Now, I'm sure there were promotions based on the statistics of athletes getting A's. I'm sure there were bonuses that were made based on the retention of these athletes and them being able to stay and play and graduate. Somebody should be looking at jail time right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm quite sure it definitely was. You're talking about UNC, so you imagine that even on a high day, probably only about 10, 12% of the school would be black, if that. So that means that I don't have to worry about probably 70% of the students even looking into taking this course.
Right, and
remember, I got to create something that nobody probably is going to, especially in this generation.
Well, I'm saying, and that didn't raise a red flag. African American studies. Well, we ain't got no black people at this school. You know what I'm saying? Who's going to study this stuff? And
well, I'm not just hiding it from the students. I'm hiding it from the teachers as well.
That's my point. They didn't think the teachers would have any oversight. Nobody in administration.
Van Wilder
would look right.
Yeah, they had some of that Van Wilder going on.
What do they call it in the registrar's office when you go? and the person that tracks all of the grades. They figured nobody would look and go, wait a minute.
Correct.
They've got 75 A's.
And remember,
out of the 77 people that took this class.
And they only knew about this when the guy turned them in, the ex-basketball player. Spilled the beans on. I can't think of his name. I think it might have been Sherman or something like that. He played in the about 2006, 2007. He was in an interview and he talked about how they had gave them fake classes to keep them on the team. So
I'm
nobody. It's not like somebody found it out.
I don't believe in stop snitching, but I am opposed to throwing other people under the bus. Now, what I'm saying is if I'm going to blow a whistle, I'm going to blow the whistle before I myself commit the offense.
Yeah.
Right.
Rashad McCants. Yes. That's
okay.
What his name.
So if there's a situation where I don't like the way we talk to the good producer on this show, then I'm going to make my stand when it first offends me. I'm not finna get 50 laughs at this man's expense and then turn around and go, you know what, that's really wrong at what they're doing, because now you're throwing us all under the bus because you're disgruntled. What happened that made you want to take it?
Yeah, that's all college kids.
All of a sudden you got a conscience? No, I don't think so.
Once you've gone through the program, now I want to tell on the people.
Right. Because you saw the dude that you saw the dude that you thought was a scrub on the team go to the NBA and have a fantastic career, and you still washing dishes at Shoney's, and now you want to be upset.
College football hot and heavy this past weekend. Mississippi State prevailing, still #1 in the country. The top 10 AP poll, as I said, came out. The selection committee's first poll. Remember, it's a playoff this year, so now we got a coaches poll, we got an Associated Press poll, and now we will have a selection committee poll. If you can keep up with all that, you will know that TCU is number 10. Now, I'm going to stop right there and start right there. 82 points. What is really going on? They beat Texas Tech 82 to like 17 or something. Like, that's 12 touchdowns.
Did they turn off the scoreboard?
How many games is that? Like, you know how long it takes to score 12 touchdowns?
Did they turn off the scoreboard so so that Texas Tech wouldn't feel bad? They weren't embarrassed.
They should have.
Yeah. Once it got to
you talking about mercy rule? 82. I was sitting there like, man, how do you get that many touchdowns? It's only 4 quarters in a game. That's like really. On a serious note, that's about 3 games worth of real scoring for a good team. For a good team, if you can score 28 points a game, you really have a decent offense. 82 points is incredible. TCU number 10. Georgia is number 9. Todd Gurley's still questionable whether he's going to be able to play. Number 8, Michigan State, who just decided that, you know what, we're just going to stranglehold Michigan. It's time for you to go Hulk. It's okay. First of all, you know what y'all problem is, Michigan? You let your quarterback wear number 98. Let's start right there. Your quarterback is not supposed to be out there with number 98 on. I know we get to pick our numbers, but just start with the little things, as they say. 98, he looks like a defensive end handing the ball off, and he plays like a defensive end, too. He's not that good, Gardner. He'd probably be great pro running back. Just like the other kid down there, Denard Robinson, who's at Jacksonville now. He's killing it at running back for them. He was their quarterback like 2 years ago. Jacksonville put him at running back, using him kind of like a Percy Harvin. We'll talk about that a little later, kind of player. I think the last 3 games he's went over 100 yards for Jacksonville. At 7, Ole Miss, who lost to LSU. Sad note from Tiger Stadium. A fan had a heart attack and died. A male fan. They haven't released.
I didn't see that.
And she was laughing.
Ooh, I didn't see that. I saw something else.
No, I didn't see that.
Wrong video.
They didn't say an age. He was a male. He was a fan of LSU. Ole Miss lost to LSU 10-7. At number 6, Notre Dame. At 5, Oregon is number 5. The Oregon Ducks. I did read an interesting story out in the Rite Aid out in Oregon, to say there was a baby cub walking down the Rite Aid. He was down the aisles. Wouldn't that just be shocking? You bend down to get you some Q-tips, and this baby bear cub walks up on you. Only in Oregon can you get that.
Oh my gosh, I would spaz out.
Did you get big?
I saw the video.
Let me see. Do I want some of that green alcohol? And you reach down,
and there's a baby bear.
Maybe no alcohol today.
The thing about it that really caught me off guard is I saw the video and I saw the size of the cub. At some point, you know, the cubs, they go off and do their own thing, but that was the size cub that runs with the mother every day. So if you've got a cub inside of a Rite Aid, then mom is only steps behind.
Well, they said they couldn't find mother.
Somebody probably killed
Well,
her.
it's a me first, you know,
generation,
even
right,
with the
right,
Cubs,
right.
you know.
Even with the Cubs, she was a neglectful mother. She
I know.
wanted to let him go and spread his wings, and he decided.
She wanted him to bury the bones.
Can you imagine the conversation they had when he got back to the cave? You're not supposed to be going into Rite Aid. But Mom, who says bears can't need toiletries?
You seen the Charmin commercial?
Yeah.
Right. And,
That's what he was looking for.
Exactly. They do it on TV.
At 4 is Alabama, the Crimson Tide. Word is that the Bama boosters have paid off Nick Saban's house. Yeah, I mean, you're paying him $7-8 million a year anyway. They decide to pay his house off. His coach can get all the perks in the world.
Wait, the boosters can pay off the coach's house, but they can't get a player's any money.
Yeah, the coaches don't pay for their house. It's free.
No, I'm saying, but
it's their house. They just paid the house that he's staying in. The next coach will be living in that same house.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not like he gets to keep the house. It's not in his name.
Because but still, coach. Man, that's
when
really
you're a coach. This is what I always tell people: hey, raise your son to be a coach. Because when you're the head coach, you don't pay light, water, rent. You know, you get a free truck. Your wife get a free truck. Your kids can go to that college if they're of college age for free. It's a lot of that go. That's why Mike Krzyzewski is never leaving. He just sits there and keep putting that dye in his hair like he's still 50. He's about 68 years old, but his hair is jet black. Come on, Mike.
So Mark Richt gets free trucks and a house, and the players have to cash a $72 check twice.
Right.
They was taking that Afro-American studies.
What is going on, man? And see, that's the problem, is that somebody is getting paid. I know I'm way back early in my comedy career, I would do shows and people would come up, oh man, it didn't go like it was supposed to. Hey, bro, look, somebody got paid.
Right.
And I need to be in that group of people. I don't want to hear none of these excuses about what didn't happen. Somebody getting paid. So split that money.
4 is Auburn. 3 is Alabama. 2 is FSU, who did not play. And number 1 is still the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Dak Prescott was doing his thing the other day. Mississippi State still has to play Alabama, and they still have to play Ole Miss. So it's be tough to go undefeated. Auburn has the toughest schedule. We still have to play Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Georgia, and Alabama. So if we went out, somebody better put us in the playoffs because we got 4 games against top 10 teams left on the schedule, and 3 of them are on the road. We'll be back with more of the Sports Joc Show. Talk a little NFL in the next hour. Our man Richard Brown is coming in as well. We'll be back after this.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school, I learned that I'm ugly and useless. And in the gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. And in history, I learned that I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick. And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me.
In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. And in math, I learned that I'm trash. The only thing I didn't learn in school today.
The only thing I didn't learn today.
The only thing I didn't learn
is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Sassy! Sassy!
This week's episode, Rattlesnake at the Pond.
Oh, Johnny, skipping rocks at the pond sure is fun. Hey, look, a moving stick. That ain't a stick. That's a rattlesnake. Sassy, we're in danger. Good idea, Sassy. Go get Mr. Gunderson. You will in a second, but first you'd like to tell us something we may not know about animal shelters in the United States? It's getting close, Sassy! Approximately 8 million pets enter shelters each year? The majority of which are in shelters because of owner-related issues that the animals have no control over? Sassy the rattlesnake! Save us, Sassy! What, Sassy? You wish you were videotaping this? Sassy!
Sassy is brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org. Remember, adopt.
Enough is enough! I have had it! Why so serious? And we hold the world ransom for Wayne Gandy. Excuse me while I whip this out. Show me.
Broadcasting live from the Armada Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. It is the 10 o'clock hour. We're going to talk a little NFL. We're going to bash some teams. So if your team lost yesterday, you might want to turn us off because we're going to bash them here for the next 60 minutes. Falcons, we're going to start with you. But Jets, you won't be that far behind. We're going to get on you in a second. But before I bring my co-host back on, what is with you people jumping the White House fence? What's really going on with you people? What is this? This is not a Bruce Willis movie. How far do you really think you're gonna get? Like, first of all, we don't even know where Obama at in this place, man. They just show you pictures. He probably got some secret tunnel living over there by Olivia Pope, and y'all jumping the fence thinking you're gonna catch him doing what up in there? I mean, freedom. It's called freedom. Jumping gates at the White House. That's the new thing. Come on, man. Leave that crack alone. It's the marijuana. It's the marijuana. Y'all smoking that other stuff. That marijuana blend is, it ain't just weed or reefer. See, that's what the good producer used to smoke, reefer. That's why he got that Sean John shirt on, because he used to smoke reefer. He would have Big Kenny, I see you got some guests in the house. Over there, there's Miss Grant. Is that Miss Grant over there, right there? Good morning to you. And Mr. Wolford. Oh, okay. We got some actors in the building. We doing big things around here, man. I would have worn my tux if I knew they were coming. I thought y'all was hoaxing me again. You know how y'all like to try to punk me and tell me people coming and they don't ever show up. But we are here. We are live. We're going to start in England. Once again, let me apologize to you for sending these terrible teams over there for these games. The Falcon fans, it's over. It's 2-6. And there is some hope because the division is terrible. So there is a little glimmer of hope. But I'm going to tell you the story about this game. I was watching the game. The game came on at 9:30 a.m. And when Julio Jones got that first down, it was about 1 minute and 40 seconds left in the game. I got up and decided, well, I'm going to go get me some cardio. Game is over. Now, luckily, I left the TV on so I could, when I got back in and saw the score, I could rewind it and watch the end. But I'm thinking game over. Julio got the first down. Hey, Falcons finally got them a victory. Let me go get some cardio so I can watch the rest of the game. I come back. I got like 8 texts from Falcon fans. I'm done. I'm fired everybody. They've started sounding like Jared. That's how they started sounding like, I'm done. And I'm like, what happened? We won the game. I go up, rewind. They let the Lions. Now, the Lions was missing Megatron because, he's shooting too many Zaxby commercials. So Calvin Johnson was out. Reggie Bush, as you know, I told you last week. If you see Reggie this week, you won't see him next week. That's just how Reggie Bush plays. He was out. Their top 3 tight ends were out. They had some dude at tight end that was related to Big Kenny back in the 50s. They just had a guy at tight end. It wasn't even like if your top 3 tight ends, you only really carry 2 tight ends on a team, and then the third dude is on the practice squad. So that means you went and just found a guy to put in. Then you sent your number 1 defensive line reserve home because he broke team rules. I'm just trying to show you how weak the Lions. They were out there really like Cubs because all their players were on the sideline. And they still beat the Falcons. With all this going on, first-year head coach Caldwell, I just don't know, Falcon fans. It's a tough road, and you got to go through it. And I know it's sold out over there. There was 3 games this year for the NFL. They're going to put 5 games next year. You need to focus more about getting a team in L.A. before you start talking about London. But let me bring my guest back on, the funny man himself, Big Kenny. Big Kenny, before I get on your Bears and your Jets, let's start with the Falcons.
First of all, like you said, they were just throwing people out there. You knew the tight end was just somebody that was filling in because he had a British accent. You know what I mean? so Governor, you say I run this way and block him. Who is this dude? My name is Nigel, and I'm going to play an in that's very tight. No, it's a tight end, Nigel. I don't understand. In the last seconds, they lost it. We're about to build $1 billion stadium. We've crushed 2 historically black churches for a second-rate football team. Those were not my words. Those were the prophetic words of a member of one of those churches.
Right.
It's coming to life. Number 2, just to backtrack a little bit, that fence jumping, you say it's a result of weed. No, it's not. No, it's not. Weed don't make you want to jump the fence at the White House. You be like, hey, let's jump the fence at the White House or go to a Chinese buffet. Chinese buffet. Let's do that. I mean, I don't even want to go through the whole physicality of climbing and jumping and dogs. Let's just go get some Szechuan chicken. You know what I mean? And call it a day. But the Falcons, you said there's a glimmer of hope. No, it ain't. There's no glimmer of hope because of all the games that they've got left to play. How many are they just going to outright win? We thought they had this one yesterday.
Right.
They won, and then
they would have to go at least 6-2 because I think whoever wins the division probably be 8-8.
And then the last kick in regulation was off. It was wide right.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it went wide right.
Yes.
Then I think it was it Mike Smith called timeout or something like that?
No, it was a delay of game.
Oh, delay of game. So they had
back 5 yards.
So they moved it back 5 yards and gave them another chance.
Right.
And they won. And I'm thinking the Falcons are the only dudes that could be in a strip club and a chick be like, I'm gonna keep my clothes on. They can't win anywhere. It's ridiculous. And why are we going to London anyway?
Money. They're hoping that eventually they can build up where they can put a franchise over there. I don't know how they're going to deal with the logistics. You can't send every team over there and then have a bye. I don't know how you would work that out and why you would want to take a team. And maybe only reason they're selling these games out is because they see it kind of like a concert.
Right.
Because there's only 2 or 3 of them. Like if when a concert come to town, people go to it. But if you show it to me every week, I'm not going to see Beyonce every week. I just wanted to see her that 1 week. So,
right.
Who is this picture right here? It says Mr. Blank Y'all made us sell our churches for this.
That hat, though.
She definitely looked like a Beulah.
Yeah. Beulah May.
Beulah May Williams.
She
Right
laid the foundation at Friendship Baptist.
Yes, she was there when
She would serve all the construction workers tea. Y'all want some of this tea? And I ain't talking about what's in the glass either, baby. Because she wasn't always holy. You know what I mean?
Oh, man, I tell you. Now, moving up the highway a little bit to New Jersey. The Jets.
Jets.
And that's how they played yesterday.
Hey,
this is
come on, man. We got to call it what it is. I'm not finna be shouting Jets, and you trash.
You got to be ride or die.
Whatever. I'm dead. I'm dead.
Right now.
I'm flatlined.
43-23, the Bills over the Jets.
Wow.
Michael Vick. Now, if you're watching these games, Vic go in the game. Here's what you have to realize about this. I know the backup quarterback gets very little limelight, but there's a reason why only certain people can play backup quarterback. You can tell Michael Vick is not suited for this role because you're not going to get – if we run 30 plays in practice, the backup gets 3. So he has to have a cerebral game. He has to be – that was never Michael Vick.
No.
Michael Vick always played on talent. It was never that, his game was mental. He was just talented. And that's why when he gets in these games, he struggles because he didn't get a lot of reps.
And see, his game isn't really mental because he took all them fake classes at UNC one summer. And he never had to show up for it. So.
But Geno Smith gets in the game. Don't go back to Geno Smith. It's over until next year. If you want to try him again next year. He needs to sit and watch and grow and get rid of that and rededicate himself. He needs to be put in that situation. He was given too much too fast. 3 interceptions in a row.
Wow. That's horrible.
Not 3 interceptions. It was pick, they score. Next play, pick, they score. I mean, it was real sad. He threw 3 interceptions. Mike threw 1. Mike turned the ball over 3 times. He fumbled 2. Geno threw. It was 6 turnovers by the quarterback position.
Wow.
See, and Sexy Rexy is so food deprived he can't make sound decisions. He over there thinking about eating. And he should be concentrating on football. Geno Smith should have been out 3 games ago.
Yes, and I'm not saying that he's a project that can't be, but he needs his 8 games left. Let him sit over there. Let Vic or whoever else is on the roster finish the season. Y'all are 1-7. You won the first game of the year. You've lost the last 7 games. It's a wrap. It's mainly a wrap because Purdy Tom is like 7-1 in the division. So you're not going to win the division, and you're probably not going to be 8-8. It's just a bad – I don't care, Percy Harvin, whoever you want to get, it's just not going to turn around. We're going to come back, talk about being black enough in Seattle right after this.
More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew. Wait. Mom, what? Huh? What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Remember when your neighbor found us naked in the car? And the time some outdoor action got us kicked out of the park. Getting frisky in the dark, I gave your eye a poke. I think the dog is also in the bed. Do I smell smoke, you and me? We never give up, you and me. We never, ever, ever give up. Getting hot and heavy with the whipped cream that we bought. Undressing in the kitchen and then getting caught. So many things can go wrong, but we still can get it right. You and me, we're not gonna give up tonight.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Visit bedsider.org to compare all the choices and put the bogus myths to bed at bedsider.org.
Boy, we got options tonight.
Brought to you by Bedsider and the Ad Council. Bedsider.org.
It's not always easy being a dad.
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now. What? What do you mean she's not coming? But it's always worth it.
It's the fairy princess!
It is I, Bruce Zinklebell. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
I know it's really you, girl. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You are a waste. A loser. Everyone hates you. Why don't you just stay in your car and keep driving? I'm serious. Drive until you run out of gas and get out of your car and walk until you find someone who doesn't think you're dumber than bricks. It could take a while, but at least all that walking might burn a couple of calories.
You may not witness bullying like this every day. Your kids do. They want to help, but they don't know how. Visit StopBullying.gov to learn safe, simple ways your child can help stop bullying. Be more than a bystander at StopBullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. And you know when you hear the sounds of poetry in motion, you gotta have a guy that's lost in the 80s.
All 80s, all the time.
What's so funny is you probably had that in on your phone, don't you? That's just, where did you find that at? On the computer. Oh, okay. Poetry in motion, man. I tell you. Way to get me hyped. I'm so hyped right now.
That song is so old that even Thomas Dolby is like, I made that. I see my name on it, but I forgot that one. That was a while back.
We were talking about the the Jets. Give credit to both Detroit and Buffalo. Buffalo is 5-3, and Detroit is, make sure we give credit where credit is due. Detroit is 6-2, even with Calvin Johnson missing 3 games. They're 6-2, playing well. Story out of Seattle last week, Percy Harvin, as you know, has been traded. Now Marshawn Lynch, they supposed to be parting with him when the season is over, beast mode. I don't know why organizations need to tell people that you're like, that's going to make me play. You know what? We're not going to bring you back next year. Why would I even be inspired to keep playing? Right. But Seattle is making a lot of noise and not on the football field. They were able to beat Scam Newton them yesterday in that thrilling 13-9 game. It was so thrilling that it put me to sleep. Bunch of field goals. Scam out there once again, just running around. I don't see any growth in my Auburn Tiger at all. He looks like the guy when he was a rookie. He doesn't look any. Whatever grade you gave him that first year is about where he still is. I don't see any real improvement. It's still the little celebration after the 6-yard run. I don't know what this is at the QB position in the second quarter. It's one thing to get the first down to win the game, but to be in the second quarter and run a 6-yard run and do this as though the game, I don't get where these kids are at, but Seattle now is 4-3. The Panthers are 3-4-1. Still hope for them. because, like I said, the NFC South is a weak division. But the story out of this game is reports are people are claiming that Russell Wilson, the Super Bowl champ quarterback, is not black enough. I don't know. Well, what is it? I haven't been by the beautiful in a long time myself. I guess I'm not black enough. I like hollandaise sauce. Maybe Big Kenny selfie. I mean, when the last
I like hollandaise sauce, but I don't think that's what makes people say I'm not black enough. I think it's all the white broads I be knocking off. You know what I mean? That's what make him go, he not black enough, because I'm constantly rolling up in the club with a white chick.
I'm just saying, you know, how people make it seem like if you ain't doing...
Well, what is black? We have to define what black is.
If you're not doing grimy, and if you don't have a bottle of hot sauce in your back pocket, I guess you're not really black enough. But Charles Barkley went on the air, and he had some comments to say about this. People calling Russell Wilson out. Can you have that audio?
People listening, Mike Freeman wrote a piece about Russell Wilson where he quoted unnamed players saying he wasn't black enough, that he was too much of a company guy and that sort of thing. Now, Mike disagreed with the statement, but some of the players said that. Is that the same case where, like, why would you hate Russell Wilson?
Well, unfortunately, as I tell my white friends, we as black people, we're never going to be successful, not because of you white people, because of other black people. When you're black, you have to deal with so much crap in your life from other black people. It's a dirty, dark secret. I'm glad it's coming out. It comes out every few years. I wrote a big chapter in my book about it, to be honest with you. I said, you know, when young black kids, you know, when they do well in school, the loser kids tell them, oh, you're acting white. The kids who speak intelligently,
right?
They tell them you're acting white. So it's a dirty, dark secret in the black community. One of the reasons we're never going to be successful as a whole because of other black people. And for some reason, we are brainwashed to think if you're not a thug or an idiot, you're not black enough. If you go to school, make good grades, speak intelligent, and don't break the law, you're not a good black person. And it's a dirty, dark secret, Anthony. I heard Stephen A. talking about it.
Those are the comments of Hall of Famer and TNT analyst Charles Barkley. War Eagle there to you, Charles. Big Kenny selfie, dirty, dark secret. If you're not thugging, if you don't act unintelligent, then you don't come off as black enough. Would you give any points to that?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm offended when people try and equate being black with being thugged and being unintelligent. Now, I know some for real gangsters that made, you know what I mean, 1800s on the test scores, and they straight A students. And these dudes are for real street dudes. There's nothing about being smart that makes you not black. There's nothing about being able to speak in a way that other people can understand you that makes you not black. Now, if you get out there and some music comes on and you can't dance, then maybe we'll tease you. Come on, brother, where your rhythm at? But as far as being able to read, as far as not committing crimes, I come from a long line of people who didn't commit crimes. I messed it up for them, but I'm just saying, what is it about? Why are we always trying to say if you're not a criminal or if you're not what I would consider a subgroup of black people, you're not black enough?
Selfie, what do you think?
I'm glad this is coming out because I'm one of those kids that people have always said I act white. I've been told that my whole life.
And why do you think they tell you that?
People say it's the way I talk. Some people say it's the way I dress. I've been told.
Some people say it's the way she goes. Oh, there's black people.
No, I've been told by. I remember I was hanging out one time in for a group of people, and they were talking about some movies. I mean, I grew up in another country. You know, they don't. Some people just don't understand that. But we were talking about some movie, like a black movie, and I'd never seen it before. So the first thing they did was tell me my black card was revoked. You know, you're officially white. And so ever since then, I walked down the hallway, hey, white girl.
So what Charles Barkley is saying, in your opinion, does have some credit.
It's true. I mean, in high school, I was, hey, white girl, I'm a black crew.
I've had white women tell me I wasn't black enough for them.
That's scary.
I mean, seriously, on some, but they were looking for tattoos. They were looking for gold teeth. They were looking for what they see in the media as the image of black people.
Yeah, but isn't that what Charles Barkley is saying? He's saying that if you don't portray these things, even if you're not it, if I don't give you, if you go to a local school, the valedictorian does want you to see him as gangster. He wants you to see him as a thug. Now, I'm 4.9 GPA. But when you see me, though, I want you to see me as the media portrays this hard, tough character of urbanness, of blackness.
Listen, real thugs don't have physics books in backpacks. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
People need to quit trying to pretend to be something that they're not. For me, growing up, it was a source of pride that people could look at me and go, that boy's going to make something of himself. He's obviously not going down the wrong path that other people seem to have chosen. Now, it might be the valedictorian, and like you said, he's acting worse than anybody in detention right now because it's something they're trying to keep up with.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's just not. I've seen all kinds of people try and emulate something that they're not. So you might have white kids running around talking about they thugging because thugging is supposed to be cool right now.
Right.
So, you have girls who are virgins acting like hookers on social media because they think it's cool right now.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. When you listen to what Barkley is saying, I just think that he's saying that with Russell Wilson, you have a kid that is not portraying any of those stereotypes, so you put the label of not black. Now, Richard Sherman, who is a Stanford grad, acts like he was just let out of a cage, and you totally removed that this man is a graduate from Stanford because you have decided from how he portrays himself, he is black. So it's becoming that. I think it's not so much of you are a thug or the thug is not smart. It's like you're saying, Big Kenny, the portraying, the acting as though, so I can get that credit.
Right.
Jared's on our GFN TV.
The good producer acts like a white guy more so. Ryan is polished, so he comes off like a white guy. Clayton is about 50-50.
You can see him shaking somebody.
Half real.
Somebody.
He will take those glasses off and stick you with the point now.
Right.
But he don't want to do that, though.
Right.
He don't want to
let you know, look, I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to be cool. Y'all finna make me come outside myself shouting. Y'all gonna keep on.
Do that. Right. He wants to be just regular, leave me alone. He gives me that. Like, just leave me alone, man. I ain't messing with you. Don't mess with me. But, I think that Charles Barkley, and, sometimes we do go too far with it. I will agree with you, Big Kenny, we like to say that. But I do see that if you don't kind of make sure people know that about you, because I get that. Even I used to, you speak well for a ball player. What?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
What does that mean? But I understand because then you get Dennis Rodman on there. Wait.
All thanks to Dennis.
Do you know what he did? Do you know what he did?
But Dennis,
I'm not gay.
We'll be back more on the Sports Joc Show right after this.
We've been built and we've been scorned.
More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
Ice cold brew. Ooh, that was a heck of a sack.
chicken wings? Ice cold brews? You know, Bob, he might want to hit the showers and head to Hooters.
Hooters is your one-stop shop for food, fun, and fantasy football.
Get your very own fantasy football draft kit and keep up-to-the-minute stats with Hooters' totally free Wi-Fi.
Great food, great fun, and your very own cheerleaders, the world-famous Hooters girls.
Hooters!
Visit HootersDraftParty.com to book your party.
Your busy lifestyle demands performance. Energy drinks and shots can be an acquired taste and can cause jitters, crashes, and even stomach discomfort. The new 8-Hour Energy Patch is the natural, sugar, and calorie-free alternative to energy drinks, shots, and even coffee. It's the only energy that sticks. Just 2 time-release patches will keep you going at work, the gym, or even a night out. No unpleasant taste, jitters, or crashes. For a 12-hour boost, just add another patch. For only 4 hours, use one. You're in charge. Visit 8hourenergy.com for more info and your free sample. Do not exceed 3 patches per day.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
And now, back to the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. Last Thursday, Denver over San Diego, 35-21. There will be no more Thursday night games on CBS, so y'all can get back to the Big Bang Theory.
Nerds! Hey, I like that show.
Once again, nerds! Thursday night games will now be on the NFL Network until the end of the year. Green Bay losing last night to New Orleans. Drew Brees and the boys just going to work. As you know, they do have that kind of offense. 44-23 over the Packers. The Steelers, Big Ben, threw 6 touchdowns in those bumblebee outfits yesterday. They are the most distracting thing. It's like they just come into your face.
Did you like that outfit? Did you like it?
It's a throwback jersey. From
and I know it's a throwback, but I'm saying, what were they on in that little design meeting? You know, hey, dude, let's just make it look like a big bumblebee, man.
But that's not what threw me off. What threw me off were the tan pants, because it looked like they were wearing. I couldn't tell. I was like, are they wearing pants or not?
I think it's from like the 30s or that's when
when fashion didn't matter. It was the Great Depression. We've only got 2 fabrics left, so it's going to be the bumblebee shirts with the nude looking pants, and let's roll with it. Hurry up and make the decision. We got to hit the soup line, okay?
Pittsburgh 51 over the Colts 34. The Steelers won last Monday night, beating. When you remember, you asked me will they win against the Texans, and I told you nobody circles the wagons like the Pittsburgh stick. I stole that from the Buffalo Bills. But that's what you say about the Bills. But when the Steelers need a win, they know how to come up with one. Big Ben throwing the ball big time yesterday. Oakland, Cleveland. I mean,
pass.
I don't know.
It's like a game show. I'll pass. Next.
I don't know what I should
Can we choose which games we want to talk about? Like next? No, we don't want to. We won't even discuss that one.
It was. I don't know, Jared. I know you're out there. You're 0-8, 0-7. You're only the team that hasn't won a game. The Raiders, you just look bad. 23-13. You fumbled the ball. There's nothing about losing that y'all don't do.
It's the
y'all
norm.
Do everything about how you lose a game, the Raider does.
It's the
game.
norm. They could teach a class on ways to lose a game.
Oh, man. And Arizona, which was a good game, Arizona-Philly yesterday, Arizona prevailing 24-20 over the Eagles. Quietly, the Cardinals are 6-1. Quietly. None of you even know that they're 6-1. The Eagles are 5-2. And they said the Cardinals had a team at the beginning of the season, one of those kind of sneaky teams where they have the pieces, and if they play together, they can do some big things. Carson Palmer, looking like the Carson Palmer from the Bengal days. He's looking real nice now. I don't know what he might be on. They're going to probably test him, and he's going to be on some HGH, but he's throwing the ball, got a lot of life in his arm to be an older quarterback, and 6-1, 4-0 at home. Which is always a good sign when you can win your home games. That's the first thing when you're trying to make the playoffs. The coach tells you 8-0, 7-1 at home, you're probably going to make the playoffs.
You know, my mother used to always say a lot of times that what you do is how you do it. There were some good wins yesterday, but when a team like Pittsburgh can beat a team like Indiana, 51-30, Indiana ain't no punk.
No.
You know what I mean? And they put up 34 points, which in any other contest would have been a win. Yeah. But Pittsburgh, 51 points against – that's somebody you got to start looking for that late season push where they might come out of the bag and be like, wow, we didn't think that they would do it, but the Steelers pulled it off.
And they've always been that team that starts off 2-3, and then next thing you know, they're 10-3. It's just how the Steelers way. Big Kenny has brought to us one of his good friends, Jared Wolford, has a play or a movie coming out, The Trouble with Going Somewhere. Did I say that right, Jared?
Well, The Trouble with Going Somewhere is a web series.
Web series,
Right.
okay,
So,
okay.
Yeah,
and you're starring in it?
Well, I play one of the series regulars. My character is Travis, but yeah, there's 3 guys in the series, and
it's interesting. Explain to him the premise of the movie. We were just talking about the whole not black enough thing,
Right.
and explain to them what the series is about.
Yeah, so the series is written by one of my partners. His name is Lamont Pierre, and The Trouble with Going Somewhere just basically follows these 3 brothers who they all have college degrees. You know, they're trying to get a job. My character is living with his aunt. You know, another character he's living with his girl, but he's trying to make it, and you know he's feeling that pressure because he doesn't have the best job and the best life, so he can live it, you know, for himself and his girl. And then another character, you know, he has some brothers and some families that are looking down on him a little bit. So it's just following that struggle of trying to, you know, make a way, get something better. And these guys essentially, you know, take life into their own hands, and they go on a series of heists. So it kind of has an element of the Thelma and Louise, you know, where they're heisting, they're finding opportunities to make money and take care of themselves and find a better situation.
And can you relate to your character in any kind of way?
Oh, definitely. You know, I'm a college graduate, and you know, out of school I had a job, but then I had that time where I was downsized and I was looking for work, and I had to, you know, knuckle up and definitely get multiple jobs. But you know, that's definitely a relatable character for me.
Do you think, since you're playing the character, do you think that the young generation tries to get too much too soon? You know, like the older generation, they saw a house at 32, whereas the younger generations think they're supposed to have a house at 24. Like, it's like, and I think sometimes that pressure seems to send this generation into a little tailspin because it's like, oh, I'm 23. Why don't I have? No, you're just supposed to have a 1-bedroom apartment. You know.
And then 32, those homeowners were NFL players, Sports Joc. So, a lot of 32-year-olds straight clocking in and clocking out.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You used to look forward. You were going to be the CEO at 40.
Right.
Now it seems that this younger Miss Selfie think that they're supposed to be the CEO at 25, or they're supposed to be the biggest star. you know, and they haven't even put the work in.
Yeah, well, I definitely think that because, like, let's say you go to a college where you have examples of people working on Wall Street. Like, I went to FAMU. So FAMU, you got people in all schools doing big things. And then even in, you know, other families, you have entrepreneurs. And then just in the media, you know, we live in a country where to get money and to get a house and to drive a nice car, that's what you kind of are taught to do, or you're programmed to do. So, yeah, you can fall captive to it and maybe lose yourself a little bit and not have as much fun or relax as much as you can because you're just, you know, consistently trying to chase that paper.
And did you study acting, just something you fell into? How did you get involved in acting?
Well, man, I studied business, and, you know, I did everything at FAM almost except acting. I ran track, you know, student government, pledge fraternity. Shout out to the bros at Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. But acting was something I wanted to do.
Yeah, I like to shout out to the Alpha Phi Alpha too.
Yeah, me too.
Alpha gave me some money coming out of high school. I appreciate that. I won a little certificate over in Lakeland, Florida. I'm from Florida.
Oh, where are you from Lakeland?
And
okay.
they gave a little certificate, and they had a college boys thing where you were leaving high school, going to a little seminar. And so Alpha Phi Alpha,
and the only thing you remember about the cues is one of them tried to hit on your sister at that program. You know, you were getting your certificate, and this dude's over there. So hey, look here, that's your little brother. Why don't you run with the brother?
So you said you ran track. What did you run?
I ran the 400 and the 4x4.
Okay.
How were you at that? Were you good?
I was pretty good, but you know,
he was so good he tried acting.
Not good enough. There's some fast brothers down there in Florida. You know, you got Jamaican cats, Bahamian cats. So yeah, but it was great. It was great, man. I had a full experience. So I got into acting basically after college. I was working in sales, and it was something I wanted to do. So I started taking classes, and then there was a small theater where they had an open play. And I got to play multiple characters in like a coffee house setting. Okay. So once I did that, you know, I caught the bug, and I started doing short films and other film projects independently, and then also at FSU Film School, which is like one of the top 3 film schools in the nation.
Okay.
So
and we had a conversation before we went live on air about preparation. A lot of people, you said you want to be an actor, so you went to acting classes, you studied film, you studied your craft. A lot of people think it's just as simple as getting in front of a camera phone and, you know, to be or not to be. And now they call themselves actors. How do you feel about some people just claiming something that they haven't been trained to be?
You know, I think the most powerful words, you know, out there are I am. So I'm all for claiming something and you know, professing what it is that you want to be or that you're working on. But you definitely have to put the work behind it.
Right.
You know, I definitely agree in putting the work behind it, you know, finding mentors or talking to people that are, you know, where you want to be, as well as, you know, taking classes, doing the training, or reading. You know, if you don't have the money, just find some books. You know, I hate to say it, go burn some books online or something.
No, that ain't black enough. You ain't black if you read. You fake black.
Hey, I just got around the email. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about burning books. I do know how to send an email now. Right. So that was my 2014 accomplishment.
You got to get creative.
He said an email.
That's a true story.
This dude got the typewriter earlier.
And that was his 2014 goal. For this year, I'm going to send my first email.
I sent my first email.
And then he sent it and got a reply, and whoop, the red light went on and the sirens went off. Like, I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready for a reply. That's 2015.
I'm old school.
Straight late adopter over here.
I like pens and paper. I don't know why, but acting school, and I definitely know that you can think you fast until you get out on that track.
Yeah,
and you're gonna have to show it. You don't get to talk it. You get to run it. So
just like the field, you got to work. You know.
Yeah. Well, sit back and relax, man. We're gonna talk a little football with you since you were in FAMU, FSU. I know you went over there to watch football because FAM ain't had a football team in forever.
Give us a break. We try to get it together.
We'll be back. 888-926-7562. The Sports Joc, JOC.com.
The Sports Joc Show is now live on GFN TV. Go to thesportsjoc.com and click on the GFN TV logo to watch us in high def. Chat live with the cast and share it on your social media sites with your friends and followers. Subscribe to the show at GFNTV.com.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school, I learned that I'm ugly and useless. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. In history, I learned that I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick. And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes
In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. And in math, I learned that I'm trash.
The only thing I didn't learn in school today?
The only thing I didn't learn today?
The only thing I didn't learn
is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better, and kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
And now, back to the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. Chubb Rock. I went to a Chubb Rock concert back in 1990 in Phoenix City.
Phoenix City, Alabama.
We were down at the Phoenix. We'll talk about that. We got guests in the house. We don't need to be talking about that.
You don't want to talk about the Chubster. Yes, gentlemen, the Chubster. I have been to many concerts in venues that aren't A venues.
He definitely was a quarter of an inch bigger.
Yes, he was.
He was a big man back then. He was bigger than me.
Much love to the Qs, though. He showed a lot of love to the Qs in his videos.
Welcome back to the show. We did say how terrible the Falcons. Did we talk about how bad the Falcons and Jets are? Oh, okay.
We did.
Fuck this shit.
That's how they make you feel.
Yeah.
The Falcon season to make you act like that. You know what I mean?
That's how they make you feel.
It was too much of a
too much of a something.
Too much of a something. I just and see that's the kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff the good producer do on the sly. He'll just throw a little. That's probably a conversation he was having with his kids on the way to school. They be thugged and turned up in the car. Then he get out here and oh my god,
F the Sports Joc.
Yeah,
F the Sports Joc. I heard that. We were sitting here with Jared Wolford. The trouble with going somewhere. His web series. I guess that was his web series with the F word. No, y'all just Halloween ghosting me. Y'all just ghost around here saying the F bomb everywhere.
They just wanted to get us shut down by the FCC.
That's what Mike Smith said after that loss yesterday with the Falcons. Y'all just didn't read his lips. He was like, oh, the Chiefs over the Rams, 34-7. Your man Michael Sam did get released from the Cowboys.
Why is that news? Why is that news?
I'm just giving it to you. Don't
Why
kill
is
the
that
message.
a seventh round draft pick on the practice squad that didn't make his original practice squad, got picked up to be on a practice squad, gets released, and it's news.
Right.
And you know why? Because he kissed dudes in the mouth. That's the only reason it's news.
Oh, goodness.
He kissed dudes in the mouth on TV. If he didn't kiss dudes in the mouth on TV, nobody would be talking about it.
Nobody would even know it. It would just be in the transaction part of the newspaper.
Can you imagine the other 7th round draft picks that got released and they're like, hey, you ain't say nothing about me.
The Tennessee Titans losing to the Houston Texans 30-16. Houston is doing big things down there. J.J. Watts, after he got his second sack, did a little improv of Zach Mettenberger, the starting quarterback for the Titans. He said Zach needed to grow up, realize this is not high school. At the beginning of the week when Zach got the starting nod for the Titans, he posted a bunch of selfies. And after JJ hit him in the mouth a couple times yesterday, they say he deleted his account now. But that's JJ for a young man. JJ, who's in his 3rd year, always shows a lot of respect. You can tell why he's a good player because he seems to have that old school type business approach to the game. The Titans losing once again. Titans are like 2-6. Houston is, let me make sure with them. I want to say they're 6-2 at this point. I know they lost to the Steelers on Monday night. Let me see their record. Hold on. Yes. Oh, no. The Texans are 4-4. Excuse me. The Titans are 2-6. Where else do we have to go? Have we covered everybody?
Just
the Bucks lost to the Vikings. You're talking about a snoozing of a game.
Once again, pass.
It was one of those games that really could be passed, I tell you. And the Bengals beating the Ravens 27-24, which actually was a good game. We talked about Pretty Tom beating up on your Bears. It's time to fire everybody in Chicago.
It's from the hot dog vendors on down.
And the Dolphins beating the Jags 27-13.
I want to ask you something. You played 15 years in NFL, and you played with some smash mouth football people.
Mm-hmm.
How do football purists who played at the professional level feel about all these athletes now that celebrate doing their job? That's because that's what you're doing. When you get a good block, when you get a sack, when you score a touchdown, you are paid to do that. But I can see scoring might get you some celebration. But if all I do is tackle you and I'm a tackle, why am I celebrating that? If I were a place kicker and I tackle you, then yeah, that's right. You know I had it in me. But, I mean, dude, you a linebacker.
It shows a lot of immaturity. It shows you me first attitude. There is a time for celebration. Most of the time, that is when I score a touchdown, a go-ahead touchdown.
Right.
Not I'm down 41-10.
Right, because I was going to say it has to be a meaningful touchdown. It has to be
a meaningful touchdown, and it's just like I said about Cam Newton. The growth I'm looking for is when he just gets the first down and go back to the huddle. You're the quarterback. You're the leader of the team. The game isn't over. It's the second quarter. Yes, you made a nice little run. You got the first down, and then the next thing you're doing is this. You could have been in the huddle calling the play or focusing on what the coach needs, but you're too worried making sure people realize that, did you see me make that nice run?
And you're still 2 scores down. That's what I'm saying. You celebrating and you're already behind.
But we're paying you $15 million a year. I thought you was going to – that's why we pay you that much money. It's like Ray Allen knocking down a three-pointer. Yeah, that's why I figured, it's when he misses that I'm actually surprised. It's not when he makes them, So, some of these antics, it goes back like we were talking about, keeping score. You're talking about this is the generation where they didn't keep score. Everything is a file and everything, So, hopefully some of them will mature. That's why I said Cam and a lot of these kids, they don't look any more developed than they did when they were rookies because they seem to be totally engrossed in themselves and things like that. And I think that's why Seattle even is talking about telling Russell Wilson to cut back on the endorsements. Like you can't be shooting endorsements during the season. You can't be leaving here on Monday afternoon to fly to L.A. to shoot a commercial to come back. That means you were not resting.
Right.
And we need to play.
Right.
And your other athletes, your Jordans, and if you ever go back, Mike and them did that stuff on the off season.
Right.
They didn't do that stuff during the season, whereas LeBron, he flies to L.A., he does a Nike commercial that night and misses the plane, and Mikey fight. That's too much. Go play ball and rest. because there's nothing better for an athlete. As he can tell, as he can tell you, rest. That's what gets you better. That, you know, and you don't need HGH if you can get a little rest. But
Right.
y'all want to party. You want to fly to Vegas on Monday night to party with Floyd Mayweather. Well, you're probably going to be tired when you get back. You're going to smoke something. You're going to get a contact high.
You hope.
Just probably.
At the very least, we hope we going to smoke some. Come on, Floyd.
But
I know you got it.
Did we have that clip with Jared? Is it clean? He didn't tell us whether it's. Are y'all having sex on this show? No sex.
What's the point in acting if you can't have sex?
I was about to ask him who is his love interest, you know, so make sure he might have a Laura London
You
or
got to
something.
stay tuned for that.
Here's some of the trouble with getting, the trouble with going somewhere. For you that are not watching on the Sports Joc page, Jared has just dumped about $100,000 on the table.
This right here, get you through the next month, maybe 2. Maybe even buy you some time to get Jess off your back. 'Cause I know you scared of her ass. I still think she be beating you or something.
Shut up.
And Brandon, it's the master's degree. Sally Mae still on that ass, right? I hear you on the phone making arrangements for money that ain't never gonna come.
I'm on a 30-year plan, B.
And me, I'm back at my auntie's crib. I'm too.
Back at his auntie's crib. It's a bunch of ones in that pile, though.
You got ones in your cake.
He fooled me right there. I thought he had hundreds. He got some tens and ones.
That movie money.
That's that independent film money. You know what I mean? They can't have no real money. They scraping it all up like our Monopoly money will look way too fake. Right. How much you got on you?
Right.
And you making sure they document it. That's my $6, Pepper.
Oh, is that how they come up
No,
with it?
hey, they got to grab it somehow. Right. You don't have the ability to go down to the bank and go, look, we just gonna take out 100,000 movie dollars.
Right.
You scrap up what's around.
What is the good producer doing over there?
Our wake up call is from Atlanta, which is somebody he's set up to take money from.
He just
the show.
got here.
He just got here
and
already want to give away money.
Already want to do something. He 2 hours late talking about let's give away some money. Relax over there.
He up in here trying to give away the show's money, not even sure if he still got a job. You know what I mean? You might be working on your last little button push over there, pimping.
Well, Jerry, we appreciate you sitting in, and I'll have to get my daughter to show me how to find that show.
Right.
He ain't lying. He really don't know how.
Yeah, you said something about a slash.
No, you can just type it in YouTube. Type the title in YouTube.
Don't confuse him further. Don't do that. No, you done gave him 2 little ways to access it.
Don't even worry about the hashtags.
He finna pull a Clayton in a minute. I just want y'all to leave me alone, shawty. Y'all gonna keep on. I'm telling you.
So you just bing it.
Yeah, just disregard the whole double slash. Just www.
You hear him trying to sound current. You just bing it.
That's right.
It says bing right there in the box.
This generation.
We Google.
This generation Googles. You're right. They Google you.
Oh, so it
Bing's
should be
the enemy.
Bing.
Bing is for your demographic.
I thought they were the same.
The bill paying demographic.
Bing's like Ask Jeeves.
Ask
yeah.
Jesus.
You never seen Ask Jeeves?
See, there you go. Don't just let it go. Just let it go.
Ask Jesus. What is she talking about?
Jesus.
I thought you was an atheist. I keep thinking, Jared, appreciate you for
Thanks
coming
for having
in.
me. I appreciate it.
Track runner from FAMU. Alpha, Phi, Alpha. Y'all love throwing
Now,
out
had
them
I
sets.
known that before he came in, I'd have never invited him on this show.
Jared Wolford. The trouble with going somewhere, the trouble with dealing with these people around here. We'll be back with more of the Sports Joc Show right after this.
Watch and listen to the Sports Joc Show on ArmadaFM.com, PSN247.com, and always at the SportsJoc.com, home of the $1,000 wake-up call.
More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next. Don't go away. More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Honey, I'm home. I've got a surprise for you.
Get that filthy, disgusting tire out of my living room. You're on my favorite rug.
Calm down. You're gonna love this.
What? The goldfish bowl.
I won't run over them. Relax.
You roll that tire right back out of here.
Relax. It's all part of my master plan to save us money.
This is not going to be our coffee table. Don't even think about putting a piece of glass on top.
No, honey. This is a reminder to keep our tires properly inflated so we can save money on gas.
Can't we just tie a string around our fingers?
Sweetie, properly inflated tires could save us more money at the pump than a week's worth of gas.
You're getting tire tracks on my love seat.
Exactly. To remind us that we love saving gas with properly inflated tires.
What's wrong with the sticky note on the dashboard?
Discover smarter ways to save hundreds of dollars on gas and help the environment, too, at the Alliance to Save Energy's website, drivesmarterchallenge.org.
Hey, let's put the sticky note on the tire.
Hi, we're talking to real smokers about quitting. Tell me when you smoke and why you smoke.
Eat, cigarette, kids, cigarette, dinner, another cigarette.
One on my way to lunch, one after lunch.
And another cigarette, and another cigarette.
Have you tried to quit?
Yes. I become angry.
It ain't that easy. You can't just quit cold turkey. I tried.
What would you do different?
Actually having a plan and thinking it through.
You have to relearn how to live your life without a cigarette in your hand.
With the right plan, you can quit smoking. Free at becomeanx.org. X, a new way to think about quitting. Brought to you by X and the Ad Council.
I'm Ed Smart, father of a child who was abducted.
I'm John Walsh. Like Ed, I also know the terror of having a child who was kidnapped. But now we have wonderful technology to aid in this battle.
It's called the Amber Alert. It's an early notification system to the public when every second counts.
Amber Alert is a partnership. We want to thank you, the public, broadcasters, transportation, and law enforcement. Amber Alert really works.
And now, back to the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy.
Why so serious? And we hold the world ransom for Wayne Gandy. Excuse me while I whip this out. Show me the
Broadcasting live from the Armada Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc. What's wrong right there? Oh, he gonna mute you too, because then he gonna give me another penalty. If y'all talk before 3 minutes into the segment, then y'all are off. But he's okay for being 2 hours late, though. And as I said, FBI, his name is Derek Johnson. He's here today. Don't give me some minus points because I said his name. Talking about you got to use my moniker. What? What are you talking about? He wants me just to call him the good producer so he can't be. But we got to do the wake-up call. Is that correct? You want me to do that? Let's see. Where are we calling? Who picked this? Because, you know, usually I get to pick. So you late and you picking stuff. Yeah. Okay. That's one. It's probably somebody he know, though. This one I got in trouble last week for asking him, did they know him? He gave me a 30-minute ridicule for saying his name. How many rings is that? 4. You know, ATL people.
You have reached the voicemail box.
Let's see who is that? The voicemail box.
06.
Oh, that's just a number. Okay, well, nobody gets my money this week either, but keep signing up for the Sports Joc wake-up call. The Monday before Thanksgiving, we will be giving away $1,000 to some lucky, probably of my bloodline, wake-up call winner. I'm telling you right now, I will be arranging that a family member number is called. So, hey, at least I'm honest, man. I ain't like UNC just making up classes. You know, I'm telling you the truth from the jump. Before we move on with the show, some quick birthdays from last week. Oh, first thing, our man Jared Wolford, we're coming on The Trouble with Going Somewhere, the web series. Check it out. 3 gentlemen who have graduated from college trying to make something of their life. All that money they spent on college just to start robbing people. Hey, it's TV. Nah, look at, I'm messing with you, man. You can't be too sensitive, boy, because, people killing around here with that sensitivity. Don't kill me, Jared, man. I'm an old man with arthritis, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Birthdays. Who we have birthdays? Judge Judy. Speaking of old people, 72 years old. Katy Perry, 30. Amber Rose, 31. Ricky Rubio, 24. Andrew Bynum. Is Andrew Bynum still in the league? No? 27. Brady Quinn, 30. Keith Urban, 47. Sierra. Pop it. Oh, 29. Martin Luther King III. Kill yourself. That's what I want to say about you. Go kill yourself, man. And take your sister and your other brother. All y'all just go jump into traffic. Can you say that about the Kings? Yes, you can. Y'all three just a disgrace. Y'all arguing over Bibles? What is really going on? King James Version. It don't really matter, man. Y'all stop that. Messing up your daddy legacy like that. Weird Al Yankovic, 55. Pele, maybe the greatest soccer player ever, 74. Kelly Osbourne, reborn. She don't even have an age. She just has become her daddy. Robinson Cano, 32. Jeff Goldblum, 62. Ichiro, 41. Miguel, 29. Monica, 34. Who else do we have on here? The next president of the United States, Hillary Clinton, is 67. You know y'all gonna vote for. Everybody in this room gonna vote for. Y'all are some. Well, yeah, you're a Tea Party member, and I'm not gonna vote for. I'm just a Republican. But hey, that's my day job. Rita Wilson, who's leaving Tom Hanks, 58. How you gonna leave Forrest Gump though? That's wrong, Rita. All these years. Doug Flutie, 52. Nancy Grace, her 90th facelift. Jordan Crawford, 26. Who else do we have on here? And Drake. Just leaving the strip club at 28. Me and Malaya on fire. Drizzy Drake. Where else? Where are we on the show? We got our man Todd Harris coming up. Talk about a little Major League Baseball in a second. As I said, the Giants are up 3-2 on the Kansas City Royals. The series is moving back to Kansas City. The Chiefs won yesterday, which they're in a good mood. What else do we have going on in sports? Dennis Rodman. Can we see Dennis Rodman? Dennis Rodman here snuck into a party down in Florida. He was supposed to be not there. I would say that's his costume, but that's what Dennis usually dresses like right there. That's his garb. That is his ex-wife, Cameron. Is it Carmen or Cameron? Carmen Electra. They're holding hands. She got some extra security. He wasn't supposed to be there. She stayed in the limo until security came. Dennis still found her. This man been hanging out with Kim Jong-un. I mean, how you figure he can't get by security? If he can get into North Korea, he can get anywhere. But she went on Oprah or something last week, I read, and confessed how it used to be a volatile relationship. When it was good, it was good. When it was bad, it was bad. I thought that's what they just called marriage. That's what most married men tell me. Today it was good. Tomorrow it is I want to kill her, and it just keeps going back and forth. Look at beginning like it's kind of like a yo-yo. You have to catch it on the right day. Everybody except the good producer. He just stays on one end underneath his wife's foot. But that is that. What else do we have on for this segment? I'm trying to make sure I get everything in. Carmen Electra, Halloween party. Halloween is this Friday, right? This month has flown by. Did y'all pay y'all taxes October 15th? Anybody get their taxes in? You ain't filed late tax? No, just me? No, just at the... Oh, okay. It's only when you're old. Look at him like, no, I'm waiting on the 15th of April. Is that what y'all are doing? Y'all need to stop it, man. Y'all got to stop it. Oh, man. In this hour, at the end of the hour, make sure you stick around. We're going to talk about Mike Tyson and his cartoon coming up a little later in the show. I had some funny story I was going to tell you. Oh, there it is. About the lady, because I know, this is our movie birthdays. First of all, I went to see Addicted. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's the worst movie I might have seen in the last 25 years. It's that bad. And that's not me being hard on it. It's just a terrible movie. Boris Kojo and Shalise Neal or whatever her name is. It's a terrible movie. Terrible movie. She was supposed to be a nympho. She walked out. It's just a terrible movie. I did go see John Wick, good action movie with Keanu Reeves, if you want to just watch an action movie. John Wick killing people for real. I love the way. You'll love the way he kills these people in this movie. It's like, yeah, you're dead. When he he shoots you like 3 times in the chest and then shoots you in the head. Everybody. He doesn't give you you know how in most movies they shoot you once and then you're just supposed to pretend to die? That's not how he finishes you off. Everybody gets a tap to the head. John Wick, go watch it if you can. But out in Ventura, lady, they went on that dating stuff that you talk about, Selfie. Are y'all mics on yet? Why not? Oh, I'm supposed to reintroduce you. Okay. After 2 hours and 15 minutes on the show, let me bring back to the stage the funny man himself who just had a wardrobe change, Big Kenny.
Because I really wasn't here earlier. I would just like to say the good producer got on you for calling his name. He said you should only mention him by his moniker. Real men don't get near other men's monikers, sir. Just so you know it. Quit pressuring us about that stuff.
And to his right, the beautiful and sexy.
Look back at it.
Look back at it. Show everybody how you look back at it. Look how he looked. Look how they looked up when he said that.
Y'all thought I was gonna stand up, huh?
They thought
you gotta stick around for the twerk hours. It goes down.
Did you see when they thought she was gonna stand up? John braced on that blade. He
said, "Oh man,
that stuff makes me really hot."
Us too. It warm us up too, little lady.
And see, this is what I get Doc points for, because he's gonna claim that I let this go on too long. Y'all stepped out of bounds when she said it gets her hot. I didn't say a word, man. I was just sitting over here. Hey, she getting hot? How do I control it?
And bro, I'm running straight for out of bounds. I'm trying to stop. I'm trying to stop the clock. There's no in the field of play for Big Kenny. I'm heading out of bounds each and every chance I get. Be advised.
Oh man, well, we're gonna go to break so Selfie can cool down and Big Kenny can get a timeout. 888-926-756. That's the Sports Joc, JOC.com/Bing/ what you told me? Jesus?
Ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves. We'll be back.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school, I learned that I'm ugly and useless. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. In history, I learned that I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick. And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me.
In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. And in math, I learned that I'm trash.
The only thing I didn't learn in school today?
The only thing I didn't learn today.
The only thing I didn't learn
is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Sassy! Sassy!
This week's episode, Rattlesnake at the Pond.
Oh, Johnny, skipping rocks at the pond sure is fun. Hey, look, a moving stick. That ain't a stick, that's a rattlesnake. Sassy, we're in danger. Good idea, Sassy. Go get Mr. Gunderson. You will in a second, but first you'd like to tell us something we may not know about animal shelters in the United States? It's getting close, Sassy! Approximately 8 million pets enter shelters each year? The majority of which are in shelters because of owner-related issues that the animals have no control over? Sassy the rattlesnake! Save us, Sassy! What, Sassy? You wish you were videotaping this? Sassy!
Sassy is brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org. Remember, adopt.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor. Because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
Find out what's coming up next. The legendary Wayne Gandy.
She got more butt than ashtrays. Isn't that what it say? Huh? Where's Craig?
I thought that was the song. That was you.
Yeah, that was me. I'm the personification.
Fingers is mad. I get more buttons than ashtrays. Fast one, get by the fast way. Ski bass way, fella ransom note. Far from handsome, never nigga talk with your tote, son.
Welcome back to the show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. We're gonna bring our man Todd Harris on in just a second. Talk a little Major League Baseball before we do that. The NFL has suspended Tampa Bay Buck defensive end Daquan Bowers for 2 games for PEDs. A hearing for Ray Rice suspension will be on November the 5th and 6th. Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson Halloween costumes are a big hit. Y'all are crazy. Like, you bash the people and want them to die, but then you go and dress up like them. I don't get it. And who is the crazy woman that is playing Ray Rice's wife? What, are y'all going to punch each other in the movie? In the middle of the party?
I saw a picture of a guy who had dressed up as Ray Rice, and he had a blow-up doll that he was dragging around by the hair.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Wow.
And from the way that Ray treats Janae Rice, you couldn't tell it wasn't them. You know what I'm saying? you thought it might be them for real, but
Tampa Bay, which I don't understand this. Y'all are 1-6, but you gave a guy $98 million. At 1-6, nobody's gonna get paid. We're gonna all.
Who did they give $98 million to?
Jared McCoy, the defensive tackle, signed a new 7-year deal. I don't know how.
How can I get one of these jobs?
That's probably why you're 1-6, because you're giving $100 million to a player on a 1-16. No, I'm going to reevaluate everybody when this is over, because 1-6 means nobody is playing.
But don't reevaluate them till I get me a job with the Buccaneers. Just it'll be wondering why they keep giving the hot dog dude an extension for $7 million for 3 games.
And no charges will be going against Mike or Marquise Pouncey. If you remember the story, they beat the guy up that was crying on one of those YouTube, whatever that stuff y'all do, the Vine. What is that? What he was on? He was crying, saying they beat him up at the nightclub in South Beach.
Instagram.
Was it Instagram post? Make sure I said it
More
right.
than likely, yes.
Okay. So you post Instagram and you send it in the cloud.
Nope. You just post it on your timeline.
What is the timeline?
Timeline is where all the photos are seen publicly or privately. Like Facebook.
So you put a time and a date on them?
No, I mean, it has like a time. It'll say like you posted it 2 minutes ago. It will have a little time on the corner.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It does it instantly. You don't have to tell them when you put it up there.
Yeah, no.
The confusion of the Sports Joc is not supported by the staff of the Sports Joc Show.
So you don't send it to the cloud?
Nope, that's iPhones with the iCloud.
iPhones send it to the cloud? And how do you get it on the Vine?
You got to post it on Vine.
See, that's why it's too much of that, man. I just want to, just call me.
Okay.
How about that?
We'll do.
Call me, because that's way too. That's too much time. Don't you should be doing something else with your life?
But really fast, I'd like to say, if you don't follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Instagram. If you do follow me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, stop stalking me. Get yourself a life. I mean, how many other ways do you want to get in touch with me, loser? What's going on with you that you would let me post the same thing 4 times and read it and like it 4 times? Your mother raised you wrong.
Way too much going on. The World Series, I know it's so much going on. You remember the World Series used to stick out.
It used to be.
It used to, I mean.
I can't believe it in Game 5.
Because it's always been in the same time of the year. But it used to stick out.
It's an October thing.
It's an October thing, which means it always is correlated with football and in those sports. But in this mess of a world now, you almost forget that it's going on. With so many other headline stories that seem to.
Because now you got the World Series on the Major League Baseball network, and on the regular network you've got Extreme Motocross Championships. Like, I couldn't wait to watch that. Right. You know what I mean? And it's just it's one of those things. I thought about that today. We're in Game 5 of the World Series.
Game 6
coming up, and I have not seen one inning.
Me either.
Yeah, they say some of the ratings are down. Some of that probably because you have small market teams, in a sense, between KC and San Fran. But, you know, here on the Sports Joc Show, when we talk Major League Baseball, we reach out to our man Todd Harris. He is a starch Republican as well, so he probably just paid his taxes. Good morning to you, Todd.
I can't believe you said that. Good morning, Big Wayne.
It's okay, man. You don't have to pretend. You know, when you're talking to the Sports Joc, you can be a Republican. You don't have to listen to these people. These king marching people wasn't right all the time. They wasn't right all the time. Yeah, I said, look at all of them looking at me with them HBCUs. Come on over.
And now,
come on over. So the first person gonna die. Everybody else gonna make it, but that first person.
Because you know they all about their gun rights. I can't believe a lot of people were surprised that you were paying taxes on October 15th. Did you say?
Yes.
I'm surprised that you're paying taxes, period. You know what I mean? That's so old school. You
think on Wesley Snipes around here.
Better get you an offshore account.
Todd, Game 6 tomorrow. The Royals back in Kansas City. The Giants exploding last night. Put this series in perspective so far.
I guess I really have to agree with you that really, at this time, you would think the World Series is the pinnacle of baseball season, and obviously, like you were just saying, I don't even think people know it's even going on. And that's kind of disheartening to me a little bit, but like you were saying, that these small market type teams really is not going to create a lot of buzz. But I do think we're actually witnessing probably the best pitcher in baseball, who originally I thought was Clayton Kershaw, but Bumgarner, I think he's the best pitcher in baseball. So if you do watch it, and you did watch it last night, you kind of see him probably one of the best pitchers in baseball for the San Francisco Giants. But I do think when this series goes back to Kansas City, I do think they're going to win the next 2 games at home in their place.
I'll tell you one thing, Madison has great hair. I mean, he does look like the depiction of the Catholics of Jesus Christ. I mean, that thing, when the Bible says it was made of wool, his hair, I mean, y'all have to, I looked at him last night, man, Big Kenny selfie, you should have saw it. It was flowing locks, man. It looks like he's like 30. But
when he steps up on the mound, it's like, spitball down the line.
Hey, the way he's out there pitching right now, you would think he is like Jesus out there. There ain't nobody here.
Yeah, nobody.
I must admit that.
Nobody can get a run on him. He's moving to Kansas City. What do you think Major League Baseball has to do to maybe get ratings up?
And I'm gonna be honest. I think it's probably one of the poorest jobs as far as marketing of sports. You know what I mean? An old school sport that baseball does. I think Kenny was asking me the last time we spoke who would be the next superstar to kind of come out, and I said Trout. But if you look at it and you look at how many World Series potentially could be won, I actually think Buster Posey could be the next Derek Jeter as far as getting a ton of accolades, winning a lot of World Series, and kind of just doing it under the radar. He's probably one of the best players, and he's definitely the best catcher, I think, in baseball that no one even knows about. He's possibly, if he win this World Series right here, have another World Series under his belt. But again, you would never know that because I don't think baseball does a good job of marketing him and their players. But also, like I said, he's one of the best baseball players in baseball, and I don't think anybody knows who he is at all.
Do you think they'll do better having day games, or at least when it gets around to the World Series, having the ability to move it so it doesn't fall on Sunday? I mean, putting a football Sunday and football Saturday to have anything. I mean, you could be having a funeral and people won't show up. Especially if you're in the wrong state. A Georgia Bulldog fan is going to watch the Bulldogs.
Yeah, we'll bury my mama later. You know what I mean?
I mean, you think about it, I mean, I think that's true. I just think they have to do a better job of doing that and actually being able to have flexibility to move those games and have it basically structured so it's just not having to compete with football. I mean, football right now is the giant. And so you're going to try to go head-to-head with it. You're not going to win that battle, especially right now when you're not doing a good job of marketing your brand in the first place. So why would you want to even put it up against that? Like I said, you had one of the best pitchers who I think in baseball, and probably didn't even make anybody watch the game last night. Just being totally honest, I think you had a lot more viewers as far as with the Saints and the Green Bay Packers than you even had people flicking back and forth. I don't even think they flicked back and forth to that baseball game. Yeah, that's disappointing as far as that because you got a great pitcher and Buster Posey, probably the best player that no one knows about as well.
Yeah, that's when I caught my action. I caught it at halftime. I turned to the baseball game and doing commercials, but I had to get me some of that Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers battle. I mean, it's better than the Giants Royals in this football world, as you said. The giant football carries sports on all levels. But thank you, Todd, for calling in, and we'll see if your prediction of the Royals come true. I already have my Giants hat though ready. It's at the house. I was wiping the dust off of it last night.
Hey, Madison Bumgarner, he's from about 30 minutes from my hometown in Carolina, big dog. So, and I got drafted by the Giants. So secretly, I'm kind of going for them Giants too.
Petey Pablo is about 30 minutes from you too, right? We'll be back for
Keisha, Sharonda, Chasey, Shonda.
We'll be back for the show in just a second.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait, hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew.
Wait, Mom, what?
What?
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hey Dad, how do you throw a curveball? How do you build a fort? How do refrigerators run? How do fish learn how to swim?
Kids ask a lot of questions.
How high can you jump?
But you don't have to know every answer.
How many phone numbers are there?
Because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
How do cell phones work?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
What's electricity?
They just need you.
What's the moon made of?
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Players Lounge. You have been given full access to the Players Lounge on the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I am the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. Y'all didn't give me no bio, nothing, because I can get a man all his accolades. I don't want to just say went to the University of M.L. King, Robert Abernathy, the Crooks of Boston. No, I ain't going to say that about Morehouse.
But they do be stealing. we ain't gonna say that, but they do be stealing.
What y'all got going on over here, y'all? Can you hear me? He can't hear me. Oh, you can't hear me through the
I can hear you.
Now you're going through what I go through the first 2 hours.
There you go. There you go.
And then,
I'm good, bro.
Hold on 1 second. Go ahead, Big Kenny.
I got a question for you about the segment we just closed out with Todd Harris. He said that football is the giant right now, and baseball is struggling for the ratings because they don't know how to market their marquee players. Now, a lot of the players that the NFL markets are the controversial players. The NFL is full of characters. They whooping kids, they beating wives, they smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? They doing all kind of unsavory stuff. They gambling. They doing all kind of stuff, and that keeps people interested in the NFL. There was a time when you had the Barry Bonds and the Mark McGuires and the Sammy Sosas, and everybody was like, is that dude juicing? Is he juicing? A lot more people watch the sport. Now that they have a squeaky clean image, I guess what I want to ask is, are they victims of their own house cleaning?
Yes. When they let the ball fly out the park, when they let Barry Bonds, Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa hit the ball, and this is why I say they should let these people go to the Hall of Fame. You knew the 90s, you were trying to get Major League Baseball back into the top 1 and 2 sports in the country. It used to be the national pastime. Then football surpassed it, so you hit the ball out the park. Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa was what they call it, must-watch TV.
Must-see TV, yeah.
It was one of those things where you stopped your day, your night, tuned up, when you heard they were up to bat. You would sit there and you didn't even watch the whole game. It would be Mark McGuire batting, okay. All right, not Sammy Sosa. And then you would turn back to the others, and then you would try to time it up like, okay, he should be back up by now. And that's how you used to watch it.
And how did they even claim to state that they didn't notice what was going on? Mark McGwire, if you see him in some of his old footage, he's a little scrawny guy.
Right.
And he comes to the, he does his little interviews. Then he starts juicing, and his head grows a hat size. And then at the press conference afterwards, he's like, Hulk smash. How did you not know
No, they knew
that something was going on with him?
They knew. They were just trying to turn a blind eye. It's like track and field. Like they know. But at some point, I gotta bring something to it. I gotta let Usain Bolt. I gotta draw. I gotta have, just like like they're saying with golf. They're changing golf because people have, over the last 10 years, they've said they've lost about 5 million people in golf. So now they're trying to change it and figure out a way to get you back in track and field. Hey, I want to see Carl Lewis run against Ben Johnson. Now we're gonna take Ben's gold 5 years from now, but for right now we're gonna get these ratings up.
Right.
We're gonna let Lolo Jones. We got to build a story to draw you in, and then we'll get around to that. It's like a baseball player; they get on juice. This is not an accident.
Right.
I'm gonna get on some drugs. I'm gonna hit 50 home runs. I'm gonna get $100 million contract. I'm gonna let you suspend me next year, but you still owe me the other $80 million.
So it's a win-win for everybody.
Yes.
People tuned in, and I cashed the $80 million check.
Yes,
which is worth a little bit of drugs. I'm just saying.
Just a little bit.
Where you buy these cars at, man? What is Ladies and gentlemen,
show our viewers this. Who still uses index cards?
Lost in the 80s.
Serial killers don't even use index cards anymore.
Ted Bundy.
That's how he plans his killings. He's got all of his little cards on.
On the wall.
She's got to be blonde. She's got to be 6'2", and he just has them all. Little flow chart.
We got Morehouse's finest track athlete in the building. Mr. Richard Brown is here. He is here to tell us about his boy Oscar, and he says that he had just left the house right before Oscar shot. He was there. That's where he's just coming back from South Africa. He was there that morning, and he had just went for a run.
People heard shots, then they heard that tink, 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 running away. It sounded like someone was running from the scene, but we never saw anybody.
Welcome back to the show, man.
Thanks, man.
Glad to have you here,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir.
Ever since you've been on the show, I've been on a high of life because of the way you came in, and just I live that way anyway, where it's just about the day and live it to the best. And if it's BS, I cut it out and kick it out. And you can exactly. And for you that don't know the story, Mr. Brown, Paralympic athlete, he was 16 when he fell through a door. It cut his leg. 2 years later, he had them, by his request, that he wanted them to amputate it because the pain had just became too much for him. Pain can become that way. He did not let that keep him down. He went on to be a gold medalist in the Paralympics, a Morehouse grad. He spanks his kids. He tightened them up.
He spanked his oldest child with his youngest child. You see what I'm saying? He believed in that spanking.
Welcome back to the show, man.
Boy, you got bad grades. Give me my baby.
What you been up to?
Man, we done started back training.
Man,
so I'm getting ready for the coming up year, just training, running, trying to get back in any kind of shape I possibly can.
And how's that first day? Is it just that?
Man, it's the first day.
Where you be thinking, man, I'm slow. I'm
slow.
out of shape.
I feel fat. I'm heavy. Coach like, you need to run. I'm like, no.
So what is the first thing when you start training? Is it distance? Is it
distance? We don't touch a track. We don't touch the track until December. So right now we're doing long street runs and 15 minutes here and 20 minutes there, and we're in the weight room an hour, 2 hours a day, and it's just hell, to be honest with you.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, because anybody tell me to go out for a 30-minute run, I'm gonna be like, man, what?
And
I run in intervals, 30-second intervals. Run down there and wait and come back.
Be a gift for me at the end.
And I can relate because when we start training for comedy, wait, we don't train for comedy. I just wanted to add something to the story.
When is your first
one is
meet?
January 24th, heading to Scotland. So
Scotland.
Yeah, I'll be representing the U.S. in the Five Nations match.
Oscar will be out of jail by then in South Africa.
Oh, look at how fast he's running! He's a lightning bolt.
I think he got 10 months of good behavior, 5 years overall.
Yeah, they gave him 5 years.
5
They gave him
years.
about 3 years served. He'll probably do 7 days, and then they'll sneak him back into house arrest. But when you saw the verdict, were you shocked?
I really wasn't shocked. I kind of was expectant of the verdict. I'm a firm believer only 2 people know what happened that night. So, I mean, the judge, she did her job, I guess. So, to the best of her ability. And I only knew Oscar on the track level. So, I met him a couple of times in person. He was such a nice person to meet. So, just, like when the news first hit me, it was such a shock, to begin with. So, now to matriculate through this whole process of...
He's
already
when I met him, he was really nice to me. He slapped the hell out of a couple women, but he was nice to me. There weren't any signs of this dude maybe being a little bit.
The only thing was the outburst after the 200 in London. Like he had a major outburst about the leg length of Alan Oliveira, which is the Brazilian athlete who does run a little tall. I'm one of those guys who's on the tall side, but I really don't care. I'm faster than all of them, so you can be as tall as you want to be, and I'm still gonna outrun you. But as far as Oscar, man, it was a tragedy because he was our sport. Like when you say para track and field, you think Oscar because he won every medal. He was able to run in the able-bodied Olympics, so he was a big thing in our sport. So to see that happen to him, it was worse. Personally, he's a friend, but I was more worried about the sport. Companies pulled out of contracts. We lost a lot of money. We lost meet opportunities. A lot of things that people didn't even want to have anything to do with the Paralympics because of the situation. So I'm just glad it's over with. To be completely honest,
because he was kind of like Tiger Woods was the golf, where the other golfers, as much as they didn't like it, they loved it because Tiger put money in everybody's pocket.
Exactly. Right.
It wasn't just his; we all getting paid. Yeah. So, hey, what do you think about Tiger? Hey, he's a good guy. They know that because everybody is getting more and more endorsements. The sport grew.
So coming from London, like it was such a big thing, especially because he ran in the able-bodies. So that week later, because we ran the week right after closing ceremonies of the able-bodied Olympics, so at the Paris, everybody, we packed out every single event. It was 80,000 at every event. Yeah, they were there to see Oscar, but they had to see me too because I was beside him.
Right.
So, he was in lane 4, I was in lane 5. So it's just sad to see where the sport has gone since the occurrence. But the best thing about it is, we have other athletes, myself, Johnny Peacock of Great Britain, and Alan Oliveira of Brazil, who's trying to kind of wipe out the bad stigma that he's kind of left in everybody's mouth. It's tragic what happened, but at the same time, we're looking at it from a business point of view, and it's just bad for the sport. It's just really, really bad for the sport.
How do you feel about the legal implications? Personally, I think we're in a different time in this world where you're up for murder, and when they sentence you, you go, woo, boy, I dodged that bullet, because you only got like 5 years for what they call culpable homicide, but it's still homicide.
Right.
Anything with homicide in the title, I think they would give you a minimum 10 years, but just, with him looking to be out in maybe 10 months, do you think that was something that had a lot to do with the fact that he was such a famous athlete?
More so, more or less. My thing was about, it's South Africa. They don't even have they don't have the laws we have in America. So I think that during this process, especially me following along, I like to educate myself about things. So when he was going through the process, I really wanted to know kind of what their judicial system was like. And once I did do my research, that's why I wasn't so surprised by the verdict, because it was either murder or accident. So it wasn't no in between, no second degree. You know how it is in America. It's 60,000 levels of killing somebody in America.
I know. I'm very well all of them.
Yeah, so when I did my research on the South African, because I really, I was invested in this case just because it's my job. Like everything that has to do with this case has to do with everything that's happening on the track. Unfortunately, because we don't know how to separate the two. What happened, like in the football with Adrian and all that, they don't know how to separate what happens personally, from the track. So I mean, it had some really negative implications on the sport, and we really still suffering from it, most definitely. And just to see him go to jail or not go to jail or be guilty, whatever the case, we were just happy that the situation was over.
All right. Hold on 1 second. We're going to go to break.
I was jamming for a second.
We're going to go to break and come back. 888-926-7562, the Sports Joc. That's JOC.com.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
It's not always easy being a dad.
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now.
What? What do you mean she's not coming?
But it's always worth it.
It's fairy princess!
It is I, Cruz Zinkelbell. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
I know it's really you, girl. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait, hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew.
Wait, Mom, what?
Huh?
What'd you say?
Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Joc. Wayne Gandy.
Doing it right, everybody will be dancing and we're feeling it right.
Hold on, man. Find me another song. Find me another song. This isn't.
Techno.
Find me something else. Let's see what you find. I can't even say welcome back. I gotta find me another track. That's even worse.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Can you just imagine?
Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. We're here with Richard Brown, Morehouse Finest, Georgia State Selfie, Southern Miss by way of Mississippi Correctional, Big Kenny.
Y'all know.
Cheers.
Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Already.
Hattiesburg.
Hey, Kenny, what was
Listen,
that track?
man.
Oh my God.
This dude's music selection. Can you imagine when he was a single man, even as a married dude, how many nights his woman's been sitting in a t-shirt and some panties sipping wine thinking it's about to go down, and then all of a sudden he goes, let me put something on, and then you hear it's poetry in motion, and she's like, I got a headache now, bruh. I'm not interested in sex anymore because you have totally ruined the mood with songs that no one but you have on your playlist. What was that?
I don't know what that
I'm
is.
in tears.
Real quickly before we talk,
Sounded like a
Richard Brown
montage
again.
music from What was Eddie Murphy in that Beverly Hills Cop?
On 3, Beverly Hills Cops 3 too. Oklahoma Thunder forward Kevin Durant says he will not rush his return. Good for you, KD. Paul Allen donates $100 million to fight Ebola. Paul Allen owns the Trail Blazers and the Seahawks, for you that did not know. Lakers guard Steve Nash. Retire, Steve.
Please.
Go home, man.
That's all right.
You're a Hall of Famer. You have a Hall of Fame career. No need to have those last 2 or 3. No, you're not even effective. You haven't played but 65 games in 3 years. Just go home. You played 18 years. Just go. It's okay. You're 40 years old. I don't know why. Go home. Go be a coach. Go to Canada and be the team coach. I mean, you got a lot of money. You got rid of your wife, so you're back on the market. Do that, but don't keep your back out. It's not going to get any better at 40. Can we all raise our hand and know at 40, once your back is hurt, there's nothing. It's almost hard to come back from a back injury when you're 20. Try to come back when you're 40.
But there's always Viagra.
No.
Oh, you ain't talking about that kind of back injury. Okay.
Not that kind of back injury.
With a guy like Steve Nash, what do you think it is about him that he doesn't recognize it's over? Come on, man. We can see it, and we're not even playing with you.
It was over when they traded for him.
Yeah, I'm saying.
When they got him I would have never even traded for him. But even then, I thought they were just going to get him for a year and try to get that last little bit of juice, maybe to teach the young player or something. But he played 15 games last year. Now he's hurt his back. He's out for this season already, and the season ain't even started. So that's the sign to go home.
He's the Steven Jackson of the NBA.
But Mr. Brown is here, Morehouse finest Paralympic athlete, says it's January 24th in Scotland.
Scotland, UK.
Is they still? Are they fighting to get away from England?
They said they already voted for that.
They voted that out.
They voted.
They still a part of the UK.
One thing I wanted to know, and the last question I have about this Oscar thing, period. How do you think he'll be receptive? Because you said y'all have a lighthearted, fun,
we
joking society. How do you joke with a murderer?
Very carefully. Very. Stay away from the sensitive stuff. Your mama. I mean, not your mama.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that changes the game.
Yeah, that does change the game.
It's one thing to joke with the dude that fight a lot.
Yeah.
But the dude that committed triple homicide.
He catching bodies.
You kind of keep walking.
I honestly don't know. Me personally, I have this feeling that he's going to be at World Champions next year.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be at the games in 2016, and it's going to be very, very touchy. Let's just use the word touchy, because it's going to be a lot of athletes who don't want him there, because he's going to bring that negativity with, because people, people have this bringing up everything you've ever done in life, especially with something of this magnitude.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as he touches the track, it's going to be crazy. I know for the last 2 years I've had to answer questions about Oscar. Every time I touch a track, the first question out of a reporter's mouth is, "Oh, how you feel about the Oscar situation?" So with the trial being over, I don't think the situation itself is over at all. Right. Because I really feel like, especially with the short sentence, that he's going to be, and the Paralympics already said that he's going to be allowed to run. So I feel like it's going to be a big mess, to be honest with you, a huge mess, like a huge mess. Like it's going to be some protests and some people who don't want to be there, and just, typical sports politics that, really the sport doesn't need, because, I mean, we're thriving right now after 2012, and last year we had such a great year last year. We were invited to 6 Diamond Leagues last year, which is unheard of for the pairs, and the Diamond League is kind of like the biggest stage throughout our season that you can be on. 50,000-60,000 people watch us run.
Gotcha.
So I mean, we finally got out of the shadow of Oscar, as athletes, but to be casted back in the shadow,
it brings it right back up
with the short sentence. It kind of throws us back into that fire where Nike doesn't want to mess with us. Mazda, Puma. Like no major brand wants to even touch us. Like so with him backing the line, like it doesn't matter how fast we run. Like I'm the fastest amputee in the world right now. Oscar can't hold a candle to me. Like I will smoke Oscar like a joint. Like he can't mess with me.
Hold on, did somebody say joint? I nodded off. I heard joint. What is?
It's a lot of weed heads.
Yeah, I think.
You see how all of them perked up.
Hey. I would like to say they are not weed heads. They are marijuana lobbyists, sir.
Only reason I ask you that because here in the biggest case we've had in the last 20 years was OJ, as you know. Mm-hmm. And even though OJ was found innocent, he couldn't outrun what people thought. Yeah. And it was like, we don't care. We're still not touching you. You should die. You shouldn't be able to make a living.
And I honestly
but now you got to keep in mind, Oscar Pistorius shot Reva Steenkamp. They were both South African. OJ killed a pure white woman with a knife, and he should be killed. White power.
Like Oscar's even had supporters during this whole situation. From the time the trial hit the air February 14, 2013, he's had supporters. So he's going to have his supporters when he comes out of jail. He's still Oscar Pistorius. He has no legs. He is still the face of disability sports. So I feel like the only way we can get rid of Oscar if somebody with a blade or an amputee runs in the able body again, because that's the only way.
Richard, I got a question. There's such an air in sports of political correctness. You were saying you guys have lighthearted spirit about it. You guys are always having fun. Is there some sort of governing body that discourages you from making certain, like if Oscar's getting in the blocks, you go, Oscar, kill this race? I mean, you know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure once I get off of air, I'm gonna have an email in my inbox, because they don't even want us talking about the situation, and we're the athletes who are directly affected. So how are we not to talk? If we're gonna be asked everywhere we go about this situation, especially being the top three, Johnny Peacock doesn't do interviews. He's from Great Britain. He doesn't do interview, and the Brazilian guy doesn't speak English. So why not me? I'll do it. We're bigger than Oscar. The sport is bigger than Oscar. Let it go. Like, let it go. He's a relevant person in the sport. Don't get me wrong, because he does have the 400-meter world record. But don't nobody come and watch. Don't want to see nobody run 46 seconds in the 400.
And sports need that, just like every field. The comedians, somebody got to be hot, and you need somebody to be hot. The NBA needed LeBron James. Because even though Kobe was doing his thing, you needed this polarizing that brought in a newer crowd, because Kobe was already in. So now LeBron, and when LeBron leaves, they're going to need
Andrew Wiggins.
What's the kid? Thon Maker. There's 7 feet.
Oh, we're talking about the sophomore kid?
Yes.
Oh, he cold.
You're going to need that new, because that's who keeps the sport going, and that's why all leagues push when that first crop. Everybody wants RG3 to win because they need somebody to replace Peyton. Somebody got to, because Peyton, Breeze, Brady, all those people are 1 or 2 years from being out. If Cam Newton them don't come around, then you have that lull, like, well, who is the next star? You got to replace. Clay Matthews is big because Brian Urlacher left. And you have to have a white defensive star. It's not being racist. It's just being what it is. It went from Richard. It went from
a little bit racist. A little bit.
No, if you think about it, there used to be tons of them because it was tons of them out there.
Kaczynski's and
and then it came down. They was trying to make the cornerback that married the Hollywood star, cornerback Jason Sehorn. They were searching for anybody on defense to be. Knowing Sehorn was a backup. He wasn't even that good, but they were trying to promote. Now, Clay Matthews and Brian Urlacher are the real deal. So it'll, you know, J.J. Watt.
I was gonna say J.J. Watt.
Yeah. You know, just like you need that quarterback, you need that defensive player. That's what keeps the sport going, like you're saying.
But that's the thing, like Paralympics is so like, oh my God, you guys are inspirational and like, so they forget they were athletes. So when I, like a person like me, I don't care about the fact that I have one leg, because on the track, that's the only time I do have normalcy. So when we line up in the blocks, you know, me and 7 other individuals, it's we don't care how many legs are out there. You know, it might be 6 legs from 8 people. But at the same time, we out there being athletes. And I feel like because of the Oscar situation and the disability situation, that people get washed up in the fact that because I have one leg, I can't say I'm the best at what I do. And I feel like that in the Paralympics, we need that kind of character. And I don't mind being that character. They call me the Usain Bolt of the Paralympics, because I am the flashiest, cockiest person on the
and because you smoke the most weed.
Plead the fifth.
Because you know Usain
condone drugs.
Way to advertise that.
Condone. Is that like selling? Is that like selling when you condone something, you sell it?
Anything that's not on you side of the list, I don't mess with.
And the more success that y'all have as a group, it even helps people outside of the sport, because when you see them, you no longer see them like they can't do anything.
Yeah.
Because that's usually the first thing, like, oh man.
Exactly.
And then you see somebody out there, and it's like, man, you better move back before I punch you, man.
And I blame America too, because like here in the States, we don't get as much coverage. I mean, our Paralympic team is actually better than our Olympic team. We brought home 52 medals last year from World Championships. I think our able-bodied team only brought home just in the 4x1, the 4x4. So I think like 7 medals. We brought home 52. We basically swept every event.
Right.
So, I mean, my thing is about here in America, I think because of the taboo and all that bull crap, they forget that we actually are athletes. But I'm here to tell them, like, nah, one leg, no legs, no arms. We out here to run. We out here to compete. I don't care who beside me, whether it's Oscar or whatever, they can get ate up just like everybody else.
Well, I appreciate you for coming on the show again.
Follow me on Twitter, Wingfoot. Wing_foot. Don't let Wayne describe it, because he don't do it.
But we are in the ocean of the show.
The truth is, he will throw your ass in the ocean. It's time to wrap things up on the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
When you hear the sounds of the ocean, it gives the Sports Joc just a minute to vent about last week's activities. We'd like to thank our man, Richard Brown, for coming in on the show. Jared Wolford for coming in to the show as well. And our man, Todd Harris, for calling in. Real quickly, this week's candidate for the ocean is the Army Academy. Discipline 20 football players for recruiting with cheerleaders and alcohol and a party bus. I thought that's what you were supposed to recruit with. Cheerleaders, alcohol, and a party bus. That's what made me go to Auburn. I mean, what is wrong with that? That's not a recruiting tool? What are you, lollipops? How do you think you're going to get players without cheerleaders, alcohol, and a party bus? Sounds like a great recruiting tool to me. Don't know about you. But for that, Army Academy. For my 2 co-hosts, the funny man himself, Big Kenny, and Selfie. Yeah, vogue all you want to. Enjoy your Monday, enjoy your week, and hey, no mass shootings this week. How about that? Peace.